Yo, what's up guys? So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was sent to Yokai Academy and got Harem movie. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, Kun-kyokai-dono, link is in the description, and also subscribe to my channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. A young man around the age of 17. He was 5'10", and lean, well-muscled. He had shoulder-length blonde hair, and ocean blue eyes that sparkled with life. He was tan, and had very strange whisker-like markings on each of his face cheeks. He was not shy about flashing his pearly whites. He was the monster of a village, and had to go away for a while after he became a ninja. Recently he has become a hero of a destroyed village, which is in reconstruction. His skills are very well known across the elemental countries, but that is only one reason why our dear adolescent is in this predicament. You see, after he came back from his training trip with Jiraiya-sama, his name spread quickly throughout the world. After he defeated Pain, the leader of Akatsuki, he became a little bit too known for his abilities, his amazing abilities. 1. The Yondaime Hokage aka Namikaze Minato, only matches his speed. His strength is unmatchable. His looks are incomparable. His mind levels are off the charts. His name is the one, the only, Uzumaki Naruto-sama. Naruto smirked to himself, as he stepped off the bus that led him to this dump. After he defeated the leader of Akatsuki, the now destroyed village of Konohagakure, no Saizo had decided to appoint a new Hokage, as Tsunade-sama was in a coma from the battle. The new Hokage was Danzo, a man who would do whatever it takes to keep Konoha safe. He originally thought that Naruto-sama was a threat to Konoha, but after many years of dedicated and loyal service, Naruto-sama proved that he was indeed a good shinobi of Leaf. However, Danzo still did not quite believe that, but after Naruto-sama defeated Pain, he couldn't just kill Naruto. For the majority of Konoha had fallen in love with the boy, and had proclaimed him as their hero. Therefore, Danzo had to do something to get rid of that annoyance, and that led to a thought by Danzo. A thought that would kill two birds with one stone. Create an alliance with a group of beings who were strong, and very loyal, and get rid of Uzumaki Naruto. Sending this young genius away to a low-class private school called Yokai Academy. Though, Naruto wasn't happy about this at all. Not only did his self-proclaimed enemy separate him from his precious people in a desperate time, he even forced him to go alone. Naruto sighed, and frowned just thinking about his life so far. Danzo was definitely not one of his favorite people that he had met. Nevertheless, what can you do? Shit happens. Moreover, people get over it, that is the way life goes. Naruto shrugged. The bus pulled up to a sign by the side of a cliff, with an ocean beneath the cliff, an ocean of red water. Naruto got off the bus, and looked around. A scarecrow with a pumpkin for a head was standing next to a creepy-looking tree that was dead. The dirt road even felt creepy. Everything about this place was creepy. Naruto turned around when the creepy bus driver said, "Welcome to your new school, son. You take care now, hehe." Naruto blinked, then grinned. "Hehe, don't worry Oji-san, I'm always careful." Naruto pointed at his chest when he said this. Then a lightning bolt struck behind the supposed school, and Naruto nervously looked at it. The bus driver looked at him, and chuckled, closed the bus doors, and left, but said to himself, as he was doing this, "I hope you are a boy, because you need to be here in this school." Naruto watched him leave, and couldn't help but feel slightly lonely. He turned to the direction of the school, and sighed, "Really now, am I being careful? What type of bullshit is that?" Naruto said to himself, as he dreaded staying here. Naruto shouldered his belongings, and shrugged, "Guess I can't just stand here all day, gotta do this no matter what." Thus, Naruto headed off towards the direction of the school. Naruto then smelled a female scent, but it wasn't a human scent. He then heard something coming towards him fast, and then a shout. "Look out." Naruto turned around, and saw a girl on a bicycle coming toward him, out of the way. She yelled, but she was too close, and the tire rammed straight into Naruto's face. Gah. Naruto managed to cough out, while he was skidding away. Naruto sat up, holding his head. "Oh wait. That hurt, you douchebag, watch where you're going." Naruto stopped talking when he saw who ran into him. He blinked, and raised an eyebrow. A girl. She slowly got up, and put a hand on her head. Naruto crawled over to her. Hey Ni-chan. Are you alright?" Naruto asked with concern. She didn't look at him, but muttered under her breath, "Oh, I'm sorry, I am anemic. I get a little dizzy sometimes. Are you okay?" Naruto finally noticed how beautiful she was. She had bubblegum pink hair, and beautiful green eyes. Naruto's sweat dropped. "What is it with the pink-haired girls, huh?" Naruto shook his head. "Yeah, I'm okay, what about you?" She looked up at him, and saw that Naruto had a cut on his forehead, and it was bleeding. She looked concerned for a minute. "Oh? You're bleeding?" She leaned in with a napkin of some kind in her hand, as Naruto felt his forehead, and chuckled. "Oh, it's nothing really, I don't even feel it." She didn't take her eyes off it, as she handed him the napkin. "Here." Suddenly she got a faraway look in her eyes, as she stared at the blood. Naruto cocked his head in confusion. "Your blood, I can smell it." Naruto blinked, and was about to say something when she collapsed in his arms. She breathed heavily. "Oh and no, it's happening again." Naruto blushed, and flinched, making a high-pitched squeaking noise. In his head Naruto thought, what the hell is going on? The pink-haired beauty leaned in very close to him, and Naruto couldn't take his eyes off her eyes. He heard her whisper, "I'm sorry, but you see." Then in a blink of an eye, she was biting his neck, and whatever she was doing, it sure did feel strange, but Naruto managed to catch the last part of her sentence. "I'm a vampire." While the girl was still obviously sucking Naruto's blood, he decided to take a more normal approach to the situation. "A vampire?" When she let go, Naruto scooted away from her in a rush, and was holding his neck, giving her the weirdest and most scared expression ever. "Nani? You just sucked my blood." The girl truly looked apologetic as she put her hand to her chest. "Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Akashi Mocha. I would never dream of doing anything like that if I weren't." Naruto cut her off, a vampire like afraid of crosses and garlic. That kind of vampire. The girl, now known as Mocha, had hearts in her eyes. "And I have to say, you have really delicious blood." She sighed dreamily. Naruto blinked and grinned. "Do I? Well, I guess you know since." Naruto stopped what he was saying and shook his head. "Get a hold of yourself, Uzumaki. She just sucked your blood. Okay, let's look at the situation." His thoughts were interrupted by Mocha, who looked very nervous for some reason. "So do you not like vampires?" Naruto looked at her from the corner of his eye and grinned at her confidently. "Well, of course I don't hate vampires. I didn't even know one until now, so why would I judge so quickly?" Mocha smiled happily while getting right up next to him as they helped each other up. "Oh, I'm so glad. Then we can be friends, right? I was worried because I'm new here." Naruto smiled and shook his head, thinking, with your beauty, it wouldn't take long for you to actually make friends. Naruto put his hand out for her to shake. "Of course we can be friends, Mocha-chan. My name is Uzumaki Naruto." Mocha looked really happy, almost as happy as Naruto when Iruka told him that he thought of him as a little brother. Mocha shook Naruto's hand, blushing from Naruto's name for her. "Nice to meet you, Naruto. Let's talk again after the commencement ceremony." Naruto nodded, and, as Mocha left, Naruto watched her leave. Just as Naruto was about to pick up his bags and leave, Naruto heard the bus again. He turned around and saw the creepy bus driver waving at him as another boy got off the bus. There was nothing special about him. Wearing the school uniform already. A deep brown, black hair color. Brown eyes. About 5'7". Not too muscular, but definitely not fat. The boy looked kinda scared after, once again a lightning bolt struck behind the skull. Naruto looked at him sympathetically. Naruto waved at him, and the boy looked at him strangely. And Naruto called. Aono Tsukune got off the bus and looked around nervously. The bus driver said something creepy and scary to him and left Tsukune all alone. At least he thought he was. Another boy, around his age, waved at him. He had shoulder-long, wild blonde hair with the brightest blue eyes Tsukune has ever seen. He was a little taller than he was and was athletic-looking. The boy was tan and had 3 strange whiskers like markings on each facial cheek. He had on a pair of dark blue jeans, a white button-up shirt with a skull tie tied loosely around his neck. The green jacket you were supposed to wear was on the ground. He had his t-shirt sleeves rolled up to his elbows, and on his right wrist were many different bracelets of different colors and styles. The boy walked over to him. Tsukune nervously smiled at him. "Aheo." The other boy smiled warmly at him. "Aheo, are you new here?" Tsukune nodded shyly. The boy's smile widened, showing perfectly straight and sparkling white teeth. They looked different than most teeth though, almost like they were sharpened. Or just naturally more pointy. Tsukune held out his hand for the other boy to shake. The other boy took his hand and shook firmly. "The name's Uzumaki Naruto, you?" Tsukune smiled. "Aono Tsukune. Nice to meet you, Naruto-san." Naruto laughed. "Please Tsukune. Just call me Naruto or whatever." "Just not done, got it." Tsukune smiled and nodded. He looked around. "So, this is the school. It's kinda scary." Naruto nodded, looking around too. "Yeah, I thought so too about 10 minutes ago, but then I met this girl. Her name is Mocha. She's interesting, but really cool, and is very different from you or me. For some reason I have a feeling that this isn't going to be a normal school. Want to walk to the school together?" And Tsukune. Tsukune smiled. "Hi, Naruto-kun." Tsukune and Naruto soon found out that they had the same homeroom class together. This was awesome in Naruto's eyes. Tsukune was just relieved he knew someone in his class. They sat down in the back right of the room. An empty seat was open behind Naruto, and Tsukune sat in front of Naruto. Then a teacher walked in. Naruto raised his eyebrows. The teacher was pretty hot. She had on a brown skirt that ended about mid-thigh, and an orange shirt and a white jacket to go over it. Her dirty blonde hair was shoulder length and had 2 bands that looked almost like cat ears. Her eyes were squinting even though she had on glasses. She walked to the front of the class and started her announcement. "Welcome, everyone, to Yokai Academy. I'll be your homeroom teacher, Miss Shizuka Nekonim." Naruto raised an eyebrow. "You think she'd be married with those looks, but I guess not." She started again. "As I'm sure you all know, Yokai is a school for monsters." Naruto nodded thoughtfully, then like glass breaking his eyes whitened and his mouth dropped. "A school for monsters?" He looked at Tsukune and thought, is Tsukune a monster? No, he can't be, he doesn't smell like one at all. Ms. Nekonim continued. "Now, like it or not, human beings run the world. For us monsters to survive, we must learn to coexist peacefully with them. And that's the mission of the academy. Living peacefully in a human world. Tsukune and Naruto were both kinda freaking out. Naruto, in a more controlled manner. What the hell? They all look like humans, but definitely don't smell like one. What's going on? Naruto tried to look bored as he stared at the wall in front of him. Tsukune on the other hand. Monsters, what's she saying? What's the joke? His Nekanim again continued on, which brings up rule number 1. You will retain your human appearance. Does everyone understand? The first key to survival among humans is to be able to disguise yourself as one of them. To practice the art of disguise, please don't reveal your true nature even to your fellow students. But ma'am. Naruto looked over at the student who spoke, along with the majority of the class, except for Tsukune, who was still freaking out. The boy had messy platinum blonde hair and a mean-looking face. He had a lip piercing in. Overall, Naruto didn't like him already, just had one of those feelings. The boy continued on, can't we just eat all the humans? I could start with the cute girls. Naruto's eyes widened, and he turned to the cocky bastard with a hell of a lot of anger in his eyes. Tsukune once again, however, no? What have I gotten myself into? He thought back to the bus driver, and gulped. His Nekanim looked at him in interest, and smiled, silly, but don't worry about running into any humans here. All the faculty and staff are monsters just like you. And since the academy is located inside the secret borderlands, no human has ever even seen it. At least not seen it, and lived. Naruto flinched, and looked down at his desk. Shit. But why was I invited here by the headmaster if I'm a human, and not welcome? I don't understand. Am I the only human here? What about Tsukune? Naruto looked at Tsukune, and saw that he was sweating, and obviously fearing for his life, and for good reason too. Naruto could feel cold sweat form on his head. He didn't like this one bit. Naruto and Tsukune's thoughts were broken by the door to the classroom opening. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got lost in the halls after the ceremony, and sorry I'm late. Ms. Nekanim smiled at her. It's alright. Just take any empty seat. What a polite girl. Naruto looked up, and let his jaw relax. It was Mocha-chan. Mocha looked like she was glowing. Naruto could hear all the boys saying stuff about her. And he didn't like it one bit. Who's that? That silky hair, those huge eyes. So pretty it can't be a disguise, she's just too beautiful. My entire life is suddenly worthwhile. Naruto smiled at her, and waved, aheo, Mocha-chan. Tsukune looked at Naruto with the look in his eyes that said it all. This is Akashi Mocha. She's the one Naruto-kun was talking about. Mocha looked over at whoever said her name, and saw Naruto. She smiled with glee, and clumped him in the middle of class while squealing, it's you, Naruto. Oh, I'm so happy we're in the same class. Naruto chuckled nervously while he tried to pry Mocha off him. Many guys weren't happy about this though. Hey. Who's he? How does he know her? How can we even rate? The dickhead from before looked at Mocha with a thoughtful look. And licked his lips. The bell rang, and before Naruto could tell what happened he was dragged out the door, but before he was pulled away he managed to get a hold of Tsukune. Naruto smiled, as he looked down at Mocha who was clinging to his arm. Tsukune was walking next to him staring at Mocha the whole time. Mocha was going on about the silliest things ever. Naruto just laughed, and agreed to whatever she was saying. Then Naruto felt someone nudge his side, and Tsukune was looking at him with an agitated look. Naruto blinked. Oh, Gomen Tsukune, I forgot he. Oi, Mocha-chan. Mocha turned to him with a happy smile on her face. Naruto stopped walking, and turned towards Tsukune. This is Aono Tsukune, he's a friend of mine. Tsukune, this is Akashi Mocha. Mocha shook hands with Tsukune, and then looked at Naruto thoughtfully. Naruto stared lazily down at her. What is it? Mocha fidgeted. If Tsukune is a friend of Naruto, does that make Tsukune my friend? Tsukune blinked in surprise, and smiled while scratching his cheek. Naruto laughed, and scratched the back of his neck nervously. Naruto nudged Tsukune in the side so he would say something. Tsukune jumped, and looked at Naruto, who smiled, and indicated to him to say something. Tsukune looked at her, and laughed. Of course Mocha. We're friends. Mocha looked up, smiled happily, and hugged both Naruto and Tsukune. Yay. She said, 2 friends in one day. Naruto smiled, and said, yeah. Just then Naruto heard a voice, they're right you know. Naruto turned around, along with Tsukune and Mocha. The guy in Ms. Nekanim's classroom was standing there in front of them. The one who asked why he just couldn't eat the humans. Naruto narrowed his eyes with suspicion. He continued to say, you're cute. Mocha isn't it? My name's Saizo. Remember it. Naruto snorted, you aren't worth my time to remember your name. Saizo ignored him, and picked up Tsukune by the shirt with one hand. Probably because he was closer to Mocha than Naruto was, but it doesn't matter. Saizo smirked, what I want to know is what's a girl like you doing with trash like these two? Tsukune looked down at Saizo with fear in his eyes. This is the guy who... Naruto stepped between Saizo and Mocha, a hand on the hand that has Tsukune in the air. You better put Tsukune down, team. Saizo raised an eyebrow. Oh, and I suppose you think you are the one who is going to make me. Naruto smirked angrily, haha. Oh no, you're going to do it because it was me who told you to. Saizo threw Tsukune down, and growled getting up into Naruto's face. Their height was about even, but Naruto was a bit taller. You think you're all that, don't you, bitch? Do you really want to mess with me? Naruto's eyes went slitted for a second, but remained blue. Oh no, douchebag. I'm just having a friendly conversation, something that you obviously lack in having with people. That, and maybe some intellectual power. Saizo was about to retort when he was interrupted by Mocha stepping between them, and effectively stopping Naruto from doing anything to Saizo. Mocha turned to Naruto, pleading eyes, please, stop it, Naruto. I don't want anything bad to happen on the first day of school. Naruto didn't stop glaring at Saizo, but continued to walk away with Mocha connected to his arm again. Alright Mocha-chan. For you. The trio turned a corner, and stopped. Then Mocha broke the silence. Woo. That was kinda scary, huh? She turned to Tsukune. Are you alright, Tsukune? Tsukune looked at her, and smiled softly. Ah yeah. I'm fine. But then he got a very embarrassed and nervous expression on his face. But why are you guys being so friendly to me? I mean, I'm just an average guy, one who's never had a real conversation with a girl before. Naruto laughed aloud. Tsukune thought he was making fun of him, so he looked down at the floor, but what Naruto said made him look at Naruto in a completely new light. Naruto smiled at Tsukune. Average. Tsukune, for some reason I have a feeling it's you and me who aren't the normal ones at this school. Besides, we're friends, aren't we? And I don't leave my friends behind or let anything bad happen to them. I protect my precious people with everything I got. No matter what the situation is. That's my promise of a lifetime, and I always keep my promises. Naruto smiled down at the two of them, giving them his patented foxy smile. Mocha blushed at what he said, and smiled dreamily at Naruto, while Tsukune looked at Naruto, his first true friend, with touched eyes, and then he looked down again. His bangs covered his eyes. Naruto looked at Tsukune, and put his hands on his shoulders. We're in it together, buddy. All of a sudden Naruto was hugged fiercely by Tsukune, making them fall out into the hallway. Tsukune was lying on top of Naruto, pulling into his chest. Naruto looked around embarrassed. I know you feel all happy, but do you mind getting off me? It's kind of an embarrassing situation, Tsukune. Nearby walkers looked at the two males, and started whispering to each other, all of them having a disgusted look on their faces. One girl looked at Naruto, and sighed, and whispered loud enough for Naruto to hear what she said. It's a shame about that blonde guy. I would have really liked to date him. He was so cute, too bad he's gay. Naruto stared. Then I looked down at Tsukune. He twitched his eyebrow, and called out after them, wait, it's not what it looks like. I just said some nice stuff, and he's just very emotional. Hey, come on, you have to believe me. He tackled me to the ground. He's molesting me. Come on. I'm not gay. I love girls. He's just a creepy guy that I don't even know. Oi, seriously. Naruto spent the rest of the day with Tsukune, and Mocha all grumpy like Tsukune, who was thoroughly embarrassed by what he did, kept apologizing to Naruto, who every time Tsukune apologized to, was hit on the head by Naruto. Well, all throughout the day Naruto kept having some gay guys giving him some very interesting looks, and even some brave ones gave him their room number. Naruto hated that day with a passion. The trio ended up walking to their dorm building, which they all coincidentally had the same one. Naruto and Mocha ended up being closer than Tsukune was to anyone really. Tsukune looked at the building nervously. They can't really make us spend 3 years in that. Mocha looked at the building like she was in love with it. It's dreamy. Have you ever seen a building with such personality? Tsukune looked at her flabbergasted, and, as if she were crazy, are we looking at the same dump? Mocha looked at him like he was silly. Huh. But this place is a monster's dream. By the way, what type of monsters are you guys? Naruto and Tsukune were taken back, and Naruto thought, gotta think of something fast. Tsukune, however, she thinks I'm a monster crap. Tsukune scratched his cheek. Naruto appeared next to her, and gave the I'm too happy attitude. We aren't supposed to give away our true identity, Mocha-chan. Mocha looked up then smiled softly. Oh, that's right, Naruto-kun. Thank you for reminding me. Naruto sighed in relief, then noticed the suffix to his name that she added. He blinked, but shrugged. They started to walk towards their dorm, but Naruto was studying Mocha. Nah, Mocha-chan, you said you were a vampire, right? Tsukune looked at Naruto with a shocked expression, and neither Naruto nor Mocha noticed him. Mocha smiled, and nodded. Naruto stopped, and scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. Well, why is it that you look totally human from every angle? Naruto avoided her eye contact in innocent behavior. Mocha smiled. I may look like a human now, but when I take off this Rosario I get scared. Naruto looked at Mocha confused. Rosario. Mocha got into teaching mode, with a smile on her face. It's a cross with a bead in the middle. It locks up vampire powers. I don't like causing trouble anyway, so I'm happy to wear the Rosario, and keep my powers in check. Naruto looked at Mocha. She is so serious, cute, and nice. She is different from me. But is she really not human? Naruto's thoughts were interrupted when Mocha got a little too close to Naruto. Tsukune looked at the two with a bewildered expression. Of course, even with her powers locked up, a girl still needs blood. Mocha smiled at Naruto while putting her hand on his chest. Naruto looked at her nervously. Mocha-chan. Mocha then chomped down on Naruto's neck. Gotcha. Tsukune put his arms in front of his face, while looking utterly grossed out and flabbergasted. So instead of Naruto doing something, Tsukune decided to do something. Yes. Tsukune looked at the letter in his hand. It was a letter of withdrawal. Tsukune sighed depressingly. Naruto, who was walking next to Tsukune, looked over at him. "You're still worried about that?" Naruto inquired. Tsukune once again sighed. "It's a new day. I wrote a letter of withdrawal to the principal, but I just can't bring myself to deliver it. I don't want to be separated from you or Mocha." Naruto shrugged. "Well, it's okay if you want to leave, you know, but Mocha and I will miss you a lot, you know. You're one of my few friends here." Naruto looked over at Tsukune. "But no one is making you stay here. I would understand if you left." Tsukune looked at Naruto. "What about you? You're human too in this school for monsters. Aren't you scared?" Naruto looked forward again. "Nah. This school is different, I have to admit, but it's basically just like my old village, only with demons and fictional characters sides. Even if I wanted to leave I couldn't." "Why?" Tsukune asked. "Because," Naruto said, "staying at this school is a mission I have to do from my village leader. If I don't do it then I'm considered a traitor." Tsukune looked shocked. Naruto looked at the shorter boy and smiled. "I don't really mind though. As long as I have some friends here I should be fine. But I gotta do something quick. I'll see you in a minute." With that Naruto disappeared. Tsukune couldn't help but wonder how Naruto did that if he really was a human. As he walked some more, Tsukune heard a voice. "Yo. Wait up, lady killer." Tsukune turned around and was grabbed by his tie by Saizo. Saizo lifted him up and slammed him into the wall right next to the dirt path. The blonde-haired jerk smirked. "I hear you and Mocha spent a lot of time together yesterday. Along with that Uzumaki guy. What's your true nature anyway?" Tsukune thought desperately in his head. "If he finds out I'm human, I'm dead. And nature I am a vampire something." Tsukune flinched when he said that. "Really now a vampire? Good idea, Ayo no." Saizo looked at him with utter hatred and anger. Without a second's notice Saizo punched the wall right behind Tsukune, making it crumble to the ground because of his power. Saizo dropped Tsukune, and with a demonic claw, looked like Saizo was going to squeeze his head until it was crushed. Saizo glared venomously at Tsukune. "A vampire. The vampire is immortal. Said to be the most powerful monster of them all. You. A vampire, don't make me laugh." Saizo turned around and walked away. "Don't let me catch you or Uzumaki near me." Tsukune watched him leave and started to hyperventilate. Then he felt a hand on his shoulder and jumped 10 feet in the air. Tsukune whirled around to see Naruto standing there with an ice cream cone in his hand. He had another one in his other hand. Naruto gave him a strange look and handed him the ice cream cone. "Ice cream?" Tsukune looked at the ice cream, signed, and accepted it. Naruto and Tsukune sat down underneath a tree, enjoying their ice cream. Naruto looked over at the destroyed wall. "Oh no, why is that wall destroyed? It wasn't like that when I left. Did something happen?" Naruto looked over at Tsukune who wasn't eating his ice cream. "Naruto-kun, Saizo doesn't believe I'm a monster, and he said that if we get near Mocha, he'll turn us both into dust." Naruto blinked, and then glared at Tsukune. "Saizo did that. Did he hurt you or anything? That bastard. I'll destroy his face next time I see him." "No? Naruto-kun, don't you get it? He thinks I'm human, and he said he'll kill us both if we get next to Mocha again." Tsukune pleaded. Naruto smiled reassuringly at Tsukune. "I'd like to see him try to kill me. Mocha-chan is our friend. And I'll be damned if I don't talk to her again just because some jerk thinks he's better than us." Tsukune's head dropped. "I wouldn't be surprised if he was better than us." Naruto took another lick of his ice cream. "Besides, no matter what I won't give up on you guys cause we're friends, Tsukune." Tsukune sighed in a hopeless attempt at convincing Naruto to at least think logically. "Naruto? Tsukune? Is it you?" Naruto and Tsukune turned around and were both tackled to the ground by a very excited Mocha. "We better hurry or we'll be late to class. Come on you two." Tsukune gasped, and Mocha. He gave her a sad, pathetic look. Mocha then noticed he was carrying his bags. "Tsukune, you're carrying your luggage." Tsukune turned away from her. "I don't know what to do, Mocha. This school is too scary. I want to go to a human school." Mocha blinked in shock as Naruto licked his ice cream patiently, watching the two's conversation. Mocha stuttered out. She then turned her now angry eyes on Tsukune. "No. You can't go to a human school. I hate humans." Naruto licked his ice cream and suddenly dropped it with shock. Tsukune looked at Mocha, appalled. "What?" Mocha fidgeted with her feet and looked down. I went to middle school with humans, and I was so lonely. They all said, monsters don't exist, except in stories. I felt like a freak. I started to think it might be better if I really didn't exist. I thought it would never be any different until I met Naruto. And you too. Now for the first time, I know I'm not really alone." Naruto stared sadly at Mocha, knowing the feeling of being alone all too well. He sighed. He was pretty sure no one knew it better than he did. Naruto imagined the first time Iruka asked him to go to eat ramen together. It was the best feeling in the world. Naruto imagined how he would feel if the next day Iruka said he had to go away because he hated Konoha. It didn't turn out to be a good feeling, and Naruto understood how Mocha felt. Mocha looked at him with pleading eyes. You can't go, Tsukune. We'll help you get through this together. Tsukune looked down so that his bangs covered his eyes. What if he gulped? What if I were one of those humans you hate? Would you still stop me? Mocha looked shocked. To the point of not being able to speak. What? She asked quietly. Tsukune closed his eyes. Mocha, I am. He steeled his resolve. I'm a human. I got into this school by mistake. I'm different from you, Mocha. Naruto closed his eyes in sadness. So he was a human. No wonder he really was scared. Naruto looked at Mocha's reaction and wasn't surprised to see disbelief. But that's impossible. No human could possibly. Mocha looked at him with fear and a little bit of hatred, but mostly sadness. Tsukune turned away from her. So, now that you know I'm a human, that's how you look at me. Mocha looked surprised. I was right, this isn't the place for me. Mocha grabbed his shoulder trying to stop him. Wait. Is it really true? Tsukune cut her off. You hate humans, remember? Well, maybe I don't like monsters, either. Tsukune turned and ran away with his luggage. Mocha tried calling out to him, Tsukune. Naruto watched him leave and felt somewhat sorry. His second day, and the perfect first day, was ruined by this dispute. Mocha kept her head down, as she let some of her tears fall. Naruto felt compelled to stay where he was at, not saying a word. Mocha didn't turn to him. So what are you then? Are you a human too? Naruto didn't answer right away. He closed his eyes and looked down. Yeah. Mocha whirled around, facing him. She had tears rolling down her face. Well then why don't you leave too? You probably hate monsters too now after I said that stuff. Naruto watched as she fell to the ground, covering her face with her hands. He walked up to her and knelt in front of her. She looked meekly up at him. Naruto smiled warmly at her. Every human kinda has this fear and hatred of monsters, but to me, Mocha-chan, you're not just a monster. Mocha looked at him. Naruto used his thumbs to wipe a few tears off her cheeks. Mocha blushed at the contact. To me, Mocha, you're my dearest friend, and I won't ever leave you. Mocha sniffled and hugged him, crying softly into his neck. Naruto hugged her back and ran a hand through her hair, making soothing noises. Soon Mocha let go of him, and Naruto stared her in the eyes. Mocha, I'll have to leave you for a bit. Please don't get into trouble. I promise you I'll be back, and I always keep my promises. Mocha sniffled again and nodded, but she held out her pinky in her hand. Pinky promise? She asked softly. Naruto grinned at her. Pinky promised. He entwined his pinky with hers, and with that he disappeared. Tsukune looked across the red ocean, and at this very strange cliff. He heard the bus pull up, and sighed. Now I can go back to my totally average life, but is this what I really want? He saw the bus pull up to him. The door opened, and the bus driver from before was smoking his cigar again. He looked at Tsukune and smiled. Haha, I knew you'd run away. Tsukune looked surprised, and the driver continued. I could see it in your face. He opened the door to the bus. No regrets, boy. To climb aboard. Tsukune looked down, and was about to take a step on the bus when a voice stopped him. You sure, you really want to do that? Tsukune whipped around, and saw Naruto leaning on a tree staring coolly at him. He pushed off the tree, and walked at Tsukune. He stopped only when he was in front of Tsukune. Naruto waved at the bus driver. Aheo, Oji-san. The bus driver tipped his hat to Naruto. Aheo, Naruto-kun. Tsukune blinked. Naruto looked back at the shorter boy. We would really miss you if you left, Tsukune. Remember, I made a promise to always protect you, and I always keep my promises. Naruto said seriously. Tsukune hesitated. Mocha walked around thinking about what Naruto and Tsukune said. She sighed and kicked a rock on the ground. I finally made some friends, and I pushed them away. She then felt someone grab her wrist and her waist. She heard a slimy voice from behind her. And what brings you here all alone? She turned to the voice and saw shaggy blonde hair and a lip piercing. Asked Saizo. He smacked his lips and grinned insanely. If you're lonely, I can take care of that. Mocha broke free of his grip and put some space between the two of them. She screamed, afraid of this monster. Saizo threw off his school jacket and chuckled. I'm serious. Your beauty is on a completely different level from the humans I played with. I want you to be my girl, Akashi Mocha. Saizo's tongue grew, and his hand transformed into claws, the veins popping out sickeningly from under his skin. Mocha flinched when she saw his hand, as Saizo started transforming into a very grotesque thing. He chuckled darkly. Whoops. When I get nervous, my body starts to change. Then I just can't stay in human form. Mocha looked horrified. And no, she said weakly. Someone help. She felt the fear well up inside her like gushing water, and she did only what came natural to her. Naruto. Saizo laughed evilly. It's kinda breaking the school rules, but let's make out. Wanna kiss? His tongue was dangling somewhere around his chest while he said this. Then his tongue reached out and was going to rub her cheek, but right before it touched her, a voice called out to her. Mocha-chan. Saizo looked towards the voice and saw the blonde hair punk from before, in midair with some sort of blue sphere thing in his hands. He didn't look happy at all. Saizo grinned and said, Uzumaki. I've waited for this. Mocha shouted to Naruto. Be careful, Naruto. This is Saizo's true form. Naruto growled. Well, I've waited to do this. Rasengan. The blue sphere hit Saizo's chest. Saizo wasn't expecting it to hurt, so he let it hit him, but what he got instead was a world of pain. Saizo couldn't help but scream as he was hurled into the air and through a tree. Naruto landed lightly on the ground and turned towards Mocha. Mocha saw Naruto hit Saizo square in the chest with whatever that was. Then after he landed, she saw Tsukune running toward her. She smiled and called out to him, "Tsukune, you came back." Tsukune grinned, "Of course, Mocha. After all, we're friends, right?" Mocha got all teary and nodded her head in enthusiasm. She saw Naruto and grinned at him, but then her eyes widened and she pointed to something behind Naruto. "Watch out, Naruto-kun." Naruto whipped around just in time to meet a fist to his face. He flew far back and was stopped roughly by another dead tree. Naruto slid down the tree and sat at the base of the trunk, his face contorted in pain. Mocha and Tsukune shouted at him. The two of them looked back at Saizo with fear. No grin was on Saizo's face anymore, only that of pure hatred. He had a huge purple bleeding spot on his chest. The blood dripped down from it like water from a faucet. The wound itself was smoking. Mocha and Tsukune couldn't take their eyes off him. Saizo roared as he brought his hand back and smote Tsukune right in the chest with it. Tsukune was sent flying back and rolled. Mocha cried to him and got to his side in a second to see if he was alright. Saizo laughed maliciously. "What's the matter, little vampire? I've always wanted to test my strength against one of you. Too bad you're just trash." Mocha sat by Tsukune's side and made sure he was alright. She felt tears well up in her eyes, and no. "This is awful. You both came back for me." Mocha felt the tears run down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I used to want to believe that I could really have a human friend. But I'm a vampire. I suck the blood of humans. I hurt them. I wanted to think that the right person, and I could overcome that." Mocha looked at Tsukune's face, and then at Naruto, who was over by the tree attempting to stand up. A trail of blood flowed down the right side of his face. He was staring at Mocha. She then turned back to Tsukune. "But I guess it's impossible. I'd only end up hurting you both too." Tsukune moved and coughed. "It's true," Mocha cried. Tsukune used her shoulder for support. "I'm weak and ordinary. But I realized I can't just run away like this and leave you and Naruto-san." Naruto growled when he said his name like that. "But let Tsukune finish. Mocha, I want to be your friend." Mocha looked shocked beyond words. She then felt another hand on her other shoulder and turned to see Naruto, grinning foxily at her. "I also wish to be your friend, Mocha-chan." Saizo reared back his fist and yelled angrily at Naruto and Tsukune, "Are you deaf? I told you both stay away from her." Mocha and Tsukune both watched in horror as his fist came closer to them. If it hit either of them, they would most likely die. They closed their eyes waiting for the pain, and waited. Soon they both peeked through their eyelids and saw with shock and awe. Naruto stood facing them. His hands were perfectly horizontal, blocking the blow for them. Naruto's eyes were facing towards the ground, so you couldn't see them. Saizo looked pissed off and slightly scared that Naruto was able to stop his punch. Naruto chuckled. "Didn't you hear what I said to you guys? I told you I will protect you with my life. It's a promise." Naruto looked at them, and they saw his eyes were slitted blue, and he was grinning. His already pointed and long canines were even pointier and longer. Now they looked like fangs. Saizo drew his hand back. And Naruto got scarily serious. He pointed at Saizo. "This fight is between you and me, team." Saizo chuckled and said, "That's only what I would wish for, Uzumaki." Once again Saizo threw a punch, but Naruto jumped over it. Saizo looked up at the blonde-haired boy, and instead was met with a foot in his face. Saizo tumbled to the ground in a heap. Naruto landed gracefully, but then his face contorted in pain. He started to hop around on one foot, holding the one he just kicked Saizo with. "Ouch, what is he made out of?" "Rock." Saizo got up again, and this time threw a punch. Naruto didn't have time to dodge, so he tried lessening the blow, but that still didn't help much. "Back, Naruto." Mocha and Tsukune cried, as he was hit into the ground. As a small crater was there, and in the middle of the dust and smoke Naruto was standing barely. He looked at Saizo angrily, and spit out a tiny bit of blood. Naruto wiped his mouth. He growled at Saizo. "Okay, it's now time to get serious." Naruto started to do hand seals fast. Mocha, Tsukune, and Saizo all looked interested and confused by what he was doing. Soon when Naruto was done, he spread his legs shoulder-width apart. 45-degree bend in each one. He grabbed his right hand with him held low by his knees and somewhat in front of him. Naruto grinned. "Compliments to Kakashi-sensei for teaching me this technique." After he said that, blue lightning started to form in his hand. It also started to circle around his body. The lightning gave off an eerie blue glow, showing Naruto's face in a different and very intimidating light. Soon the lightning started to take form in Naruto's right hand, creating a sound that was somewhat familiar to the other three monsters, -1. Mocha looked around confusedly. "Why does that sound familiar?" Tsukune squinted his eyes in confusion, and realized, birds and lots of them. Naruto grinned darkly at Saizo, but was thinking, where should I hit him? Maybe his head. All of a sudden Naruto disappeared, and reappeared right behind Saizo's head, his arm cocked back ready to strike him. Saizo heard the sound, and instead of turning around just decided to lean to the side to dodge. But alas, the strange huge monster was too slow. Naruto struck Saizo in the neck, letting the air around them be in an explosion of blood. Everyone there heard the strange word Naruto was able to shout before he destroyed Saizo's neck. Chidori. The blood fell down upon Saizo and Naruto, showering them in the red juice. Saizo gave a deafening scream of pain. The gurgling sound in his voice suggested that there was blood in his mouth too. Naruto dangled from Saizo's body trying to get his arm free of the neck. Saizo in extreme rage and pain grabbed Naruto and threw him. But with Naruto's arm still stuck in Saizo's neck, the only way to get him off him was to break Naruto's arm at the elbow. A sickening pop, then a crack was heard, sort of like when a tree branch breaks off the tree, only imagine it with a wetter sound. It was more of a splack than a crack. Naruto screamed in pain and was thrown into the same tree he was earlier in the fight. Naruto lay there fighting tears and curses that would definitely stream out of his mouth. Trying to stay conscious from the pain was difficult already. As Naruto knew, the place on the human body with the most nerves was the groin, and the elbows, and kneecaps. Breaking those limits on you would make any normal person pass out almost instantly, but Naruto was very different. Naruto-kun. Mocha shouted, and threw her dazed face. Mocha and Tsukune looked disgusted. Tsukune was green from the amount of blood, and the sound of Naruto breaking his elbow. Mocha was having a hard time concentrating because the smell of blood was so strong. Tsukune knew he and Mocha needed to do something fast. He turned to Mocha and looked her in the eye. Above Saizo's line of curses and screaming, Mocha hardly heard him, but was glad she did. Mocha, show me Rosario. Mocha lifted her neck up, and Tsukune grabbed Rosario and ripped it off with one mighty pull. A bright light was seen, and a devilish pink-red glowed off Mocha. She disappeared in the light, and Saizo's attention was finally on her. Naruto watched in extreme pain as the transformation occurred. Naruto and Tsukune remembered her words. "We need take off this Rosario, I get scared." Naruto watched as her hands turned into pale claws. Kurupe's size got drastically bigger, she gained more junk in the trunk, but it was still beautifully round. Her teeth turned into fangs, and from where Naruto saw her hair had turned silver too. Saizo looked fearfully at this transformed Mocha. What is this? This radiating power. It's not her anymore. It's something else. Mocha slowly opened her eyes, and everyone saw the same thing as the next guy there. Mocha's eyes were blood red, and were slitted just like Naruto's foxy eyes were. Naruto, Tsukune, and Saizo all had the same thoughts. Her eyes are red. Are these the eyes of a vampire? However, they all had different thoughts after that. Tsukune's was this is the vampire. Saizo thought in total fear, red eyes, and unearthly power. So the legends are true. The most fearsome of monsters, the vampire. Naruto however had an entirely different reaction to the situation. So this is the vampire, it's like an older Mocha, but way more beautiful. Vampire Mocha was giving Saizo a sexy look, almost sarcastically. What's the matter, little boy? I thought you wanted to snuggle. So why not show us how strong you are? And she held out her hand to Saizo, an evil glint in her eyes. Give me a hug. Saizo reached out to grab the new Mocha with pure hatred and anger. Tsukune looked shocked and yelled out to her, "No. Mocha." Mocha didn't move as he grabbed her. Everyone was shocked that she didn't even try to move or duck or anything at all. But what she said next was simply amazing. Is that all you've got? Naruto watched as she moved at his kind of speeds with his weights on and appeared in front of Saizo's face, ready to give him a brutal kick. She gave him a scary look and said with venom, "Know your place." She gave Saizo a kick that rocked his world forever. He went crashing through several trees and finally rolled on the ground until he stopped. Mocha put her hand out in front of her, almost as if she was challenging him to get up again. She smirked sexily. Typical monster. All sizes. I said, know your place. Naruto watched in interest as she walked towards him and knelt down to be eye level to Naruto. She touched his elbow and Naruto flinched in pain. She then smirked coldly back at his face. You are very strong for a human, Naruto. Are you afraid of me? Naruto looked at Vampire Mocha and said in a strong voice, what's the matter with you? I couldn't be afraid of a friend. The Vampire Mocha smirked and leaned in close to Naruto. Oh, so dangerously close. She whispered in his ear. That's good. I wouldn't want you to be afraid of me. You are very interesting, Uzumaki Naruto. And your blood tastes so delicious. Stay well, Naruto. The other Mocha wouldn't want you to go anywhere. Naruto watched as she pulled away. He could swear he felt her lick his neck as she spoke. He narrowed her eyes as she got up and left, walking over to Tsukune. She snatched Rosario from Tsukune. She turned towards him and smirked. Don't be so jittery. It's been a while since I've been awake. I'm still drowsy. But I won't hurt you because you seem to be a precious friend to the real me. And to that delectable boy over there. Till we meet again. You two just keep babysitting Mocha-K. Naruto watched as Vampire Mocha put back on Rosario and fell into Tsukune's arms. Naruto couldn't help but smile, then he flinched as the pain of his body finally decided to make itself known to him. Apparently, he took a big beating the same as always. Naruto looked over at the two and decided now was the best time just to go to sleep. Yeah, sleep is good. The bus driver watched from the cliff where the bus was located. He was smoking again and said in an interesting voice, "You two are awfully young for this place. I have a feeling that Naruto-kun will be able to keep up with this school. But good luck to the two of you, now you're going to need it." Tsukune was standing outside with Naruto, who had bandages wrapped around his head and had a crutch for the slightly fractured left leg when he kicked Saizo in the face. His right arm was bandaged and in a sling. Tsukune had a simple band-aid on his right eyebrow. Nothing too serious. They both were looking at Tsukune's withdrawal letter. Naruto smiled at Tsukune, and the brunette nodded. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and mentally counted to 3 in his head. Naruto watched as he did this, but then something hugged his back fiercely, causing pain to go up his entire right arm. Naruto's eyes widened comically as he yelled very loudly, "Morning, Naruto. Good to see you feeling better." She kissed Naruto on the cheek, but he didn't notice as he tried to say something back, but all that came out of his mouth was, "Jaya." Mocha blinked, then blushed, beat red, and jumped off him. "Oops. I'm sorry, Naruto." She scratched her cheek in embarrassment. Naruto smiled at her. "Ah. It's okay, Mocha-chan." She smiled, then turned to Tsukune to say the same thing, but saw that he had a ripped piece of paper in his hands. Comical tears were flowing down his face. Mocha looked sheepish. Naruto laughed at Tsukune, as did Mocha. Soon Tsukune started to join in laughing, all the while Naruto thought in his head, "And so my truly bizarre student life begins." Mocha turned towards Naruto and fidgeted. Naruto turned towards her and saw her dangerously close to his face. His sweat dropped. Mocha blushed. "Geez. I get so nervous around you." Naruto blinked in surprise. "Really? But I found someone special here that I wouldn't find anywhere else." Mocha bit his neck. "Yeah. 'Cause I keep wanting to suck your blood." Naruto's sweat dropped. "See what I mean?" Tsukune pulled Mocha off Naruto. "Mocha-san, I think Naruto-san needs all the blood he can get right now. But I also have Tsukune, the only other human in this school, and a very good friend of mine." Naruto's eyebrow twitched as Mocha looked sheepish. "Tsukune, how many times do I have to tell you? Just call me Naruto or I will beat you to a pulp." Tsukune flinched. "Gomen, Naruto-san. I am mean, Naruto." Naruto smirked in victory and laughed again, this time the other two joining in with him. "But maybe being away from home for a while will do me some good, and cracking heads also." Naruto was walking down a dirt road with Tsukune, getting ready to go to his first morning class. They were talking about little things. Tsukune smiled at Naruto, who was laughing at his own joke. Tsukune didn't mind letting Naruto do the talking because that gave him time to think. If he just laughed once in a while, Naruto wouldn't know the difference. Tsukune looked on ahead as his thoughts drifted again. This academy exists in a secret, sacred world far away from any humans. The private Yokai Academy is a school for monsters to attend. Tsukune looked up as Naruto continued to talk still. At this academy all the students must follow the school rule that they must live in human form, but their true forms are all monsters. Tsukune smiled nervously ahead, hearing an imaginary theme song in his head, as he thought, yes, but the two walking next to each other are the only exceptions to this rule. The one and only humans of Yokai Academy. Tsukune's sweat dropped. "I'll surely be killed if anyone finds out that I'm human. I don't know what Naruto-san thinks." Naruto kept walking and talking about ramen or something. His hands were resting behind his head. In the short time Tsukune knew Naruto, he noticed that touching the back of his head or neck seemed to be the most natural thing Naruto does. Naruto stopped walking and talking while turning around. Tsukune looked at Naruto, but then heard the crowd of boys talking. "Hey, look. It's Mocha-san. She looks as stunning as ever. It's like she's surrounded by light. She's so dazzling. Akashi Mocha. She's obviously the academy's #1 beauty." Tsukune waved shyly at Mocha. "Mocha-san." Naruto grinned, his hands still behind his head, and nodded at her. "Aheo, Mocha-chan." Mocha turned to whoever said her name, and saw Naruto and Tsukune. Mocha's face instantly brightened up, and she jumped on Naruto, yelling, "Morning, Naruto." Her arms wrapped around his neck as they fell to the ground in a heap. Naruto groaned in slight discomfort. Mocha instantly hopped off Naruto and scratched her cheek, sheepishly. "Oops. Sorry, Naruto." Naruto got up off the ground and grinned at her, waving it off. "No need, Mocha-chan." Mocha turned to Tsukune and hugged him a little awkwardly and said good morning to him. Naruto heard all the boys yelling absurd things and grinned foxily, sending many of the females in the area swooning. "There's a guy with Mocha-san." "What? Those two again? What kind of relationship does that blonde-haired guy have with Mocha anyway? He's not getting away with this. I'm gonna beat him to death." In the shadows of the crowd, purple eyes watched the three walk away. The three of them were sitting on stair steps to an entrance of the school. Naruto was in the middle, looking up at the sky. Tsukune was staring at Mocha, and Mocha was staring at Naruto. Mocha smiled at the two. "It must be lonely being the only two humans of our school, but I'll be there for you. If there is anything I can do, just let me know, okay?" Tsukune blushed, and Mocha-san. Naruto grinned at her. "Thanks for that, Mocha-chan. But you don't really need to, I guess. Mocha smiled at Naruto, looking in his eyes. Of course I do. Besides, Mocha leaned in very close to Naruto, who blushed and looked confused. Whenever I'm with you, I just want to suck your blood. Mocha bit Naruto's neck, who was taken aback by the action. Tsukune squealed disgustedly, but still looked at Naruto in jealousy. Naruto jumped up and held his neck, trying to stay a safe distance away from Mocha. Mocha just stood there happily. She smiled at Naruto. Sorry. It's just that, your aroma was just so good that I suddenly Naruto could have sworn he heard her say, thanks for the treat. Naruto groaned. Mocha still smiled at him. Your blood really is the yummiest, Naruto. I think I'm going to get addicted to you, Naruto. Naruto's eye twitched fearfully. He turned slowly, then took off in a run, dragging Tsukune with him. But I'm not your food. Tsukune waved to Mocha, as he was dragged away by the fleeing blonde-haired boy. Mocha looked at them in confusion, and a little bit hurt. Naruto and Tsukune walked into a clearing. Naruto, who was slightly dizzy from the blood loss, looked at Tsukune in wonder. Now if only I can get a normal conversation out of her. Then a thought struck Tsukune. He looked at the panicky Naruto. What if she's just hanging out with us because we have tasty blood? Naruto whirled around and gave Tsukune the most deadpan look ever. He then proceeded to freak out. Naruto ran around in circles. What? Do you really think that? But how could that be? I think it's wrong. She likes us. Naruto grabbed Tsukune's shoulders and looked him in the eyes. You're wrong, Tsukune. We are friends. She just happens to think I'm an all-she-can-eat buffet. Naruto stopped to catch his breath. Then he blinked and he looked at Tsukune suspiciously. What do you mean we have tasty blood? She only drank mine. Tsukune blinked, confused. Well, we're both humans, right? So, we should have the same type of taste unless you do drugs or something. Naruto glared at him. Me? No, never. Someone as awesome as me doesn't need drugs to fuck with him. Do you do drugs? You seem like the type. Tsukune blanched. I never would. Do you have any idea what drugs do to you? Steroids make you muscular. You should take some steroids, Tsukune-kun. You need more muscle, Naruto pointed out. This time Tsukune glared. Me? What about you? You're just as small. Naruto crossed his arms over his chest and huffed. I'm this skinny because I never built my muscles to be big. I built them to be lean and tight so that I can be faster. Tsukune sighed. It was pointless trying to argue with this guy. Well, anyways, I'm gonna go check on Mocha-sen. I'll see you later, Naruto-sen. Naruto yelled comically at him. It's Naruto. Naruto watched him go. Then when Tsukune was out of sight, he sighed and put his hands behind his head. Someone. Naruto heard the voice and looked around, trying to find the source. He started to walk in the direction of where he thought he heard the voice come from. Naruto walked around a tree and saw a girl kneeling there holding her stomach, a girl with big pace. Naruto gulped. The girl looked at him. Please help me. Please lend me a hand. I just suddenly started feeling ill. Naruto went to her and kneeled down, putting his hands on her shoulders. He looked at her worriedly. Can you stand up? Let's go to the school infirmary. Naruto helped the girl up, but then she collapsed in his arms. Naruto could feel her pace pushing into his chest. She sighed as they walked. Thank you so much. I've always had a weak body. My chest just starts hurting all of a sudden. She leaned even closer to Naruto, who froze with shock, and said, just hold me tight like this. Naruto flinched and blushed and beat red as he felt her hands pressed into him. He closed his eyes, trying to concentrate on something other than that, remembering all the painful beatings Sakura gave him. But Naruto was a guy, and even the most unemotional, self-controlled men would have a very difficult time not noticing a very large pair of boobs pressed against his chest. The girl turned towards him. Hey, look into my eyes, Naruto-kun. Naruto looked and saw one of the sexiest looks ever that she was giving him. I'm Kurumu. Please be a good friend to me, okay? Naruto couldn't help but be entranced by her eyes. They were the most beautiful things he had ever seen. He just couldn't look away. Naruto felt his arms wrap around Kurumu, almost protectively, but he just couldn't figure out why. Kurumu looked shocked as Naruto hugged her so aggressively. Kai, what are you doing? She said playfully. Naruto himself couldn't help but think, what the hell am I doing? I am loyal to Sakura-chan. Or Mocha-chan. Mocha stepped up and watched as Naruto pretty much carried Kurumu away, a concerned look on her face. She whispered to herself, no Naruto. Mocha heard a voice behind her. Haha, aren't you the popular one? Be careful of women, Naruto-kun. Mocha whirled around to the creepy voice in shock, fear, and slightly creeped outness. She saw the bus driver that Naruto seemed to know, and asked, who are you? Bus driver Sen chuckled creepily, just your average passerby, and then chuckled again creepily again. Mocha leaned against the wall inside one of the school's hallways. She was thinking quite intensely about Naruto. No, what is that girl? What is she like in Naruto? She sighed and said out loud to herself, they really looked like lovers, didn't they? Almost as if she was expecting someone to answer her question for her, all over each other like that. What's wrong with me? Why am I taking such a shock? I wonder. Mocha thought back to when Naruto yelled at her about not being her food. She thought to herself, I'm so bad. Why is it that whenever I'm with Naruto I just want to suck his blood? I don't know myself. Mocha jerked out of her dream when she heard a voice from seemingly nowhere. Hey, stop. This isn't the time to feel down. You're being targeted. Mocha looked around confused. Huh? Hey. Who's that? Who's there? Her thoughts were interrupted by a voice above her. You are a vampire, right? Mocha turned towards the source, and saw none other than Kurumu giving her a confident small smile. Kurumu giggled to herself quietly. That's at least what the rumors say about Akashi Mocha-sen. Kurumu hopped down from her perch, and landed gracefully on the floor, but not without the wind blowing her skimpy, short skirt, giving many boys, and some girls, a nice view of her underwear. Mocha looked at her, undeceived. You're the one with Naruto earlier. Mocha heard several males in the crowd that gathered whisper, quite loudly, behind them. Wow, what a beauty. Did you see that? Did you just see that? She's tiny, but her boobs are huge. Who is she? This girl is incredibly cute too. Who knew there was a girl besides Mocha-san like this? Kurumu got up close to Mocha, and whispered in her ear, I am the great succubus, Kurumu. Mocha blinked, confused. Kurumu continued, I have come to defeat you. Mocha looked shocked, and confused. Well, wait, isn't it against school rules to give away your true form? Kurumu ignored her question, and Mocha couldn't help but feel slightly inferior. I can't stand it anymore. Kurumu said angrily, as she pointed at Mocha. You're the biggest eyesore in the way of my great plan. Mocha tilted her head, still confused. P-plan. Kurumu chuckled almost like she was really tired. Yes, my plan is to make every male of the student body at this academy completely become my slave. The Yokai Academy Harem Transformation Plan. Mocha's mouth dropped, as she gave Kurumu the oddest look ever, and looked almost appalled that a girl would even do that, but she stayed quiet. Kurumu still ignored her, and continued, my plan was perfect. I should have had every guy at the academy be my slave right from the start. However, once again, Kurumu got very close to Mocha's face, to the point where Mocha had to bend backwards so they wouldn't touch. Kurumu raised her voice to almost a yelling, Akashi Mocha. The guys at this academy are dreaming about you rather than me. I'm not letting you get away with this. I won't lose in a battle of feminine charm. The guys, however, looked at the two female goddesses with shocked expressions. They're arguing. It looks like a heated argument. Kurumu smirked, almost like she won a very hard battle. That's why I've decided to prove I can defeat you. I'll show you that I'm better than you by stealing Uzumaki Naruto from you. Mocha decided now was the time to speak up. With a look of complete pleading she said, stop. Wait. Naruto doesn't have anything to do with this. Kurumu chuckled, I knew it from the moment we were close together. He has a really good scent like a human. Mocha bit her lip. She didn't want Kurumu to find out. However, Kurumu continued on with her rambled speech. Is his blood delicious? You're using Naruto-kun as food, aren't you? Kurumu laughed, almost evilly. Your face when he is taken from you will be a sight to see. Mocha tried to defend herself, a bit lamely. No, I'm not using him. She was interrupted by a shout, Mocha-san. Both Kurumu and Mocha turned to the source of the voice, and saw Naruto walking lazily next to Tsukune, who was waving at Mocha. Tsukune looked like he was dragging Naruto by the arm, who looked embarrassed and slightly peeved. Tsukune turned to Naruto, and whispered harshly, do it, Naruto-san. Naruto growled back, how many times have I told you not to call me that? Tsukune got into Naruto's face, I'll keep calling that until you do, as I told you. Naruto grumbled under his breath, but that really isn't my type of thing, you know. Tsukune turned Naruto around, and gave him a slight push, so that he was in front of Mocha. He scratched his cheek awkwardly, and blushed in slight anger. Mocha-chan, there is something I want to apologize for. Naruto almost had to strangle himself for saying those words. He took a deep breath, and said, I'm so sorry. He smacked his face, as he's never liked apologizing for anything. He does say I'm sorry to people, but usually he's very sarcastic about it. Before he could continue his sad attempt at saying sorry to Mocha, he was hugged quite lovingly by the girl from earlier, Kurumu. Oh? It's Naruto-kun. Tsukune's, Naruto's, Mocha's, and the whole crowd in the hallway had their mouths hanging on the floor. Naruto looked scared, confused, shocked, and a little bit relieved that he didn't have to continue with his embarrassment of apologizing to anyone. Mocha could feel her vein throbbing in her head, as Tsukune looked on in shock and jealousy, as yet another beautiful girl hugged him, who was blushing beet red, thinking things that should not be said ever. Kurumu smiled, thanks so much for earlier, Naruto-kun. Purposely dragging out her. Naruto waved his arms around desperately. Why are you here, Kurumu-chan? Wait. I came here to apologize. He shivered when he said, Mocha-chan. You could practically see the darkness of anger rolling off Mocha in waves. If one listened hard, you could hear her growling in rage. Naruto's face reeled back in shock, as this Mocha now looked dangerously like a pissed-off Sakura, as anger waves. It's scary business, I tell you. Seeped out of her skin, and she gave Naruto the darkest look ever. What's with you? You're so worried about someone, yet you make such a happy face. Naruto felt his whole body pale. If it was possible now, he was scared for his life. If Mocha was anything at all like Sakura, Naruto will be beaten within an inch of his life very soon. He closed his eyes in a flinch of fear. But then she did something completely un-Sakura-ish, and she fought with her words. Mocha looked at Naruto in desperation. You're being tricked, Naruto. Hurry up, and get that girl off you. That Kurumu isn't really your friend. Naruto decided to use the most intelligent reply at this time. Huh. Tsukune also looked highly confused about the situation at hand. Kurumu fell into Naruto's arms again. How awful. How can you say such things? She put the back of her hand on her forehead, dramatically. I'm getting dizzy again, we've got to go to the infirmary. Naruto looked very confused, and didn't understand a thing that was going on. I mean, how could he? He's a guy. He shouldn't be able to understand the wonders of a woman's mind or speech. For that matter, Naruto looked down at her, and saw that she was looking at him again, and made the mistake of looking into her eyes. He heard her whisper, "Charm." Naruto felt his body give away whatever it was that it gave away to again, and growled, "What's going on? It's happening again. I can't let this happen." Naruto tried to fight it with all his might, even going as far as to add chakra to his body, trying to break it like a dot, but it didn't work. Mocha looked at Naruto again. Please believe me, Naruto, this girl is going to eat you." Naruto felt his body react, and looked at Mocha with an uninterested look. Oh really? He felt himself saying to Mocha, "Aren't you the one who's sucking my blood?" Mocha looked like she just got punched in the face. Disbelief, shock, confusion, and hurt were all present on her face. Soon, tears welled up in her eyes. And Naruto finally got back in control of his body. He reached out to her, but she turned away, and ran down the hallway, crying loudly. Tsukune looked at Naruto, anger in his eyes. How could Naruto say that about Mocha-sen? Tsukune gave Naruto a dirty look, and ran after Mocha, trying to calm her down. Naruto stared in disbelief, as they left him. How could he have said anything at all like that to Mocha-chan? Naruto felt so bad. He looked down at Kurumu, and thought to himself, as he took her to the infirmary, is this all she is doing? Later on at the infirmary, Naruto was sitting on a chair next to Kurumu's bed. He didn't notice that she was cheering in her mind. I did it. She pumped her fists in the air, in victory. I finally did it. I made that annoying Mocha cry. Tears were running down her face comically. Yahoo. Did you see that pitiful face? I can't take it. Naruto was looking at the floor, wondering just what the hell happened to him. His fists were clenched so hard that his nails had cut into his skin, making it bleed. He glared at the ground in misery, and disgusted what he said. However, Kurumu was still having a party. She looked at Naruto, and dreamily, taking notice of how handsome Naruto really was. She smirked. Now all I have to do is make Naruto my slave, and I win. She blushed, and tried to look as sexy as she could. Naruto-kun. Naruto looked at her sadly. That sadness was soon forgotten, as he found his face pressing into the cleavage of Kurumu. Naruto's eyes were wide, and he sat in shock, not doing anything at all. He heard her say something, almost caringly. You're sad, aren't you, Naruto-kun? I'm sorry, Kurumu will make you feel all better. Naruto felt his eyebrow twitch. Mocha was sitting on the steps she and Naruto were sitting on earlier that morning. She was thinking to herself, as she felt tears running down her face. I wonder what I really am to Naruto. Do I really just want his blood? Mocha sighed, miserably. Mocha felt a pull on her rosary. She then heard the same voice as earlier, naive one. Naruto is just being manipulated. Mocha looked around in fear again. Wow. The rosary seemed to have talked, and again the voice appeared in her mind. It's called a charm. It's a work of sorcery that turns the opposite sex into your slave. Then Mocha realized where the voice was coming from. Wow. The voice is coming from the rosary. The rosary spoke again. I'm another you. I'm using the rosary as a medium through which I talk to you from deep within your psyche. Mocha looked confused. Another me. The rosary responded. The succubus is a monster that seduces males. A male who receives a kiss from a succubus is doomed to be her slave for all eternity. Hurry, at this rate, Naruto will become Kurumu's servant. Naruto knew being straddled by a beautiful girl isn't a good idea, and it never turns out well. He looked at the busty blue-haired beauty with a tad bit of nervousness, thinking of how Sakura would destroy him if she found out about this. He closed his eyes. Kurumu looked down at Naruto sexily, slowly lowering her face down to his. Kurumu was thinking, even though my heart has begun to race with this kiss, the charm spell will be complete. With this kiss, I can get back to Akashi Mocha. Naruto was struggling so very hard against this unknown womanly control over his body. It's like he's just a puppet to her. Naruto closed his eyes, and thought, ugh, it's no use. I've got to try harder. Come on, Uzumaki-sama, you can do it. It's just not right. Well, I mean, it is right for me, as a guy and all, but it's not right for me. It just isn't right. What should I do? Come on. Kurumu closed her eyes, as she felt his breath on her face. He smelled so wonderful, like a human and Raymond. Well, anyway, she was getting close now. Naruto growled in his mind. Wit. He grabbed Kurumu, breaking free of her charm spell. Instead, Naruto hugged her, while Naruto comically cried over her shoulder. Why did I have to stop? Naruto knew that even though his body wanted this so bad, his heart and mind didn't. Kurumu looked at the wall behind Naruto in shock, severely not expecting this at all. She heard Naruto's next words, and it angered her to no end. I'm sorry, Kurumu-chan, I don't want to betray someone. Naruto said this with the thought of Sakura in his mind. Just because he left for a while, didn't mean that he still didn't have a crush on her. Kurumu's shock turned into uncontrollable rage. It can be, even though I made it so he can't possibly resist. He avoids a kiss, and hugs me instead. Why does she whisper? Naruto was confused, and that confusion increased when she suddenly shoved him back on the bed, yelling, "Why do you hate me that much? Is she so much better than me?" She held her head in anger, avoiding eye contact. Naruto raised an eyebrow in confusion, and a little bit of fear, managing to squeak out an A. She yelled even louder at him, "And I did everything I could for you. Even though some things I did were embarrassing." Naruto watched, but tried to reason with her. He never was one to stay quiet for long. But you don't even know who I'm talking about. Then Naruto watched in disgust, fear, and slight discomfort, as Kurumu grew a pair of bat wings from her back. Naruto grabbed his cheeks, and gave a very girly scream. Kurumu was thinking very angrily in her head. Until now I have never lost to anybody. Only Akashi Mocha wasn't here. Naruto grabbed her shoulders. "Look, Kurumu, or whatever you are. I don't know what I did or said that pissed you off, but I can fix it, I think." That only seemed to piss her off even more, as a tail decided to make itself known. Her ears grew like an elf's, and her nails became knives for lack of better words. Once again Naruto grabbed his cheeks, and gave his girlish scream. Kurumu attacked Naruto, who was in a state of shock at her transformation type deal. She gave Naruto a very harsh glare, as she sped towards him. "I'm gonna destroy everything that has anything to do with her." Naruto was on the verge of crying, not really comical crying, when Mocha came through the door with Tsukune hot on her heels. She yelled at Kurumu, "Stop it." Naruto and Kurumu looked towards the duo at the door. Naruto called out, "Mocha-chan." "Tsukune, you see." Tsukune couldn't help but let his eyebrow twitch when Naruto called him that. "When was he weak, Tsukune?" He pointed at Naruto. "Nani, why am I weak?" Naruto yelled back at him, "Because you never do anything, and you have nothing but skin on your bones. I don't even know if muscle exists on your body." While Tsukune and Naruto were yelling at each other, Mocha ran up to Kurumu and shouted, "Get off, Naruto-kun," and gave Kurumu a shove which made Kurumu go right through a wall. Naruto and Tsukune stopped arguing to look at the damage. Both had open mouths. Mocha turned to Naruto and Tsukune and shouted, "Run, well there you still can." Naruto looked at Tsukune and Tsukune looked at Naruto, both in confusion. They looked at Mocha and shouted at the same time, "What's going on?" Mocha looked at them out of the corner of her eye. "I'm sorry you two got wrapped up in this. That girl is a succubus. It seems like she wants revenge on me, and in order to get it she's targeted you, Naruto." Naruto gave a shocked expression while on the inside he was confused. He leaned over to Tsukune, who leaned over to Naruto. "What's a succubus?" Naruto whispered to Tsukune. Tsukune shrugged, "I don't know. I'm just as clueless as you are." He whispered back. Kurumu's image appeared in the broken wall while she stared at the three of them. HMPH. To be thrown so far a vampire's power is really something. Tsukune spoke up. "Technically, she pushed you." Naruto turned to him in anger. "Shut up. Do you want the wrath of a woman upon you? You don't understand what they can do to you." Naruto looked at the two girls to see if they were paying attention. He saw that they were not, and put a hand up to his mouth so they couldn't read his lips. Naruto whispered harshly to Tsukune, "Women will tear you apart if you don't say the right stuff." Tsukune gulped, and started to cheer on Kurumu. Go Kurumu." He made ridiculous hand gestures just like a cheerleader would. Naruto covered Tsukune's mouth in great fear and dread. He whispered in Tsukune's ear again. "What the hell are you doing? Mocha is a woman too, you know." Tsukune's sweat dropped. He whispered back to Naruto, "So I guess it's best that we're not noticed." Naruto nodded his head enthusiastically. The two human males creeped into a corner, trying to blend in with their environment so they weren't killed. However, they were interrupted when Kurumu spoke again. "Come down here, so I can kill you three together." Kurumu's tail shot out, and grabbed a foot of Tsukune's. Naruto, in turn grabbed onto Tsukune so he could rescue him, and Mocha, in turn grabbed onto Naruto, so she could rescue both of the humans. Kurumu couldn't handle the weight of the three, so she had to drop them on the ground. Naruto used his shinobi abilities to land on his feet and catch Mocha, while Tsukune just landed roughly on his back. Naruto set Mocha down. "Are you okay, Mocha-chan?" Mocha blushed and nodded. "Yes, I'm fine." "Are you okay, Tsukune?" Tsukune rubbed his head, but nodded. "I think so. How about you, Naruto-damu?" Naruto glared at Tsukune. "Now why am I dumb?" Tsukune stood up and met his challenge. "Because you get worse grades than me. And I'm not even that smart. Besides, you called me weak." Naruto and Tsukune glared at each other, sparks flying between their eyes. Mocha hit them on the head and pointed to Kurumu. "This isn't the time. We have bigger things to worry about." Tsukune laughed sheepishly, and Naruto humphed then smirked. The three of them turned their attention back to Kurumu. Tsukune looked at Naruto. "Well, why don't you do anything?" Naruto looked at Tsukune, like he was stupid, because it's one of the rules in life. Tsukune sighed frustrated. "What is?" Naruto held up his finger, as if to point out something. "Never hit a girl." Mocha and Tsukune face planted in disbelief. Mocha stood up. "But we need you to right now." Naruto looked nervous, "But even if I tried, I just couldn't do it." Tsukune gave Naruto a deadpan look. "And you call me useless?" Naruto was about to retort when Mocha stepped between the two. "Tsukune, please, could you take the rosary off?" She got even more desperate when she saw that Kurumu was sweeping down to cut them to shreds. She turned towards Tsukune. Take off the Rosario on my chest, Tsukune. I can't do it by myself. It will release my seal. Kurumu laughed at them. What are you doing when you're about to be killed? Naruto shoved both of them to the ground, and barely escaped getting his head cut off. They all watched, as several trees fell apart. Tsukune almost screamed, yikes. Now she can cut trees like butter. Mocha yelled at him, hurry, and take it off or we're going to be killed. Tsukune yelled back, okay. He grabbed hold, and gave a hard tug at the collar-type rosary. Nothing happened. Naruto grabbed his head, in a frantic possibly pulling some hair out, and yelled in panic, ah. It won't come off. Tsukune freaked out, I can't take it off. It won't even budge. This time Mocha's eyes widened. As she paled, she looked down at it, but it came off earlier. Kurumu swept down, laughing maniacally, stupid monster, all you have is strength. It looks like those two were just a burden to you, now give it up, and die. Mocha looked down at Tsukune, and hugged his head to her cleavage, protectively. Tsukune looked at her, Mocha-san, what? Naruto stepped out in front of Mocha, arms up, as if he's ready to fight, protecting Mocha and Tsukune from danger. Naruto glared at Kurumu, but Mocha and Tsukune heard what he said. Sheesh, all cause you couldn't pull a stupid rosary off a stupid chain. Maybe you're weaker than I thought, Tsukune. Tsukune looked at Naruto's back, slightly hurt by his words, but then he felt a fire burn deep within his chest, to try to take off the rosary one more time. Tsukune grabbed hold of the Rosario, and yelled, I'm not a burden. Tsukune gave a mighty pull. The rosary came off without any problems. Naruto smirked from his position, feeling the demonic energy fill the air. A bright light shined, blinding everyone. Kurumu shielded her eyes while she yelled, Kaya. What is this? Naruto grabbed Tsukune, and landed a safe distance away, watching as Mocha's figure appeared back in the light. This time she was different. Naruto could see her hair was silver, and beautiful. Her pie size got bigger, and her ass was more round, and plump. Mocha's hand turned into claws, and fangs prodded out her mouth. Her pale eyelids opened to reveal blood-red eyes, with slits down the middle. Vampire Mocha smirked sexily, as she saw Kurumu. Tsukune sighed, I made it in time. Only when I wished with everything I have, it came off. What's going on? Tsukune looked towards Naruto, and saw that he had a goofy grin, as he looked at Mocha. Tsukune sighed, Naruto is a guy after all. Kurumu glared, and then shouted at Mocha, don't mess around with me. There's no way I could lose. Kurumu pointed at her chest with her nail knives, as Naruto had now dubbed them. Kurumu continued, us Akubi seek the destined encounter amongst the men we tempt. In order to keep our small species from dying out, we must carefully pick just one man out of the many to be our destined one. Kurumu swooped down, extremely pissed off. You got in the way of that Akashi, Mocha. I can't let you get away with that no matter what. Mocha smirked at her, then held her hand out, so what are you going to do? You aren't going to let me do this, so you dare bare your fangs at the likes of me. She gave a small, intimidating chuckle, frail egotistical woman. Kurumu hesitated after that, seeing the craze and angered look of her obvious superior. Mocha lost her smirk, and was not very scared. Mocha narrowed her eyes, realizing your place. Kurumu watched, as Mocha disappeared, and reappeared behind her, grabbing her tail. Mocha smirked again, slow, how about I rip off this tail, and those wings, so you never fly again. Mocha whipped Kurumu around, and slammed her into the ground, using her tail. A small crater formed underneath the blue-haired succubus. Kurumu gasped in pain, as she clenched her eyes shut. Mocha chuckled softly, calm yourself. That attack was too straightforward. Am I too difficult for you? Though you act like the devil, you're just a naive little girl. Naruto growled, listening to what Vampire Mocha was saying. It was pissing him off, she sounded so much like Sasuke. Naruto never did like how Sasuke talked. He thought too highly of himself. Just like this Mocha did. Kurumu shivered in fear and pain, as she saw the vampire start to close the distance between the two. Those red eyes were so cold, just like her voice. Let me make it so that you never stand up to me again. Kurumu, Tsukune, and Mocha all looked surprised, as Naruto stood between Mocha and Kurumu, almost like he was protecting Kurumu. He had the rosary in his hand. Mocha glared at him, what is this? Move. Was this not the woman who tried to trick you and kill you? Naruto didn't say anything, but his eyes gave away his thoughts. His eyes were saying stop it. Mocha didn't smell a single ounce of fear in this boy. She narrowed her eyes in anger. Naruto said, stop, Mocha. Tsukune and Mocha were surprised that he didn't call her Chan. Naruto stared at Mocha bravely, I didn't see that woman, Mocha. All I see right now is a girl who is hurt and needs help. She looks to be very sorry for what she did, and not only that, I seriously doubt that she did it out of bad intentions. He smiled at Mocha. I could never see Kurumu-chan being a bad girl, Mocha-chan. Tsukune and Kurumu looked shocked when Naruto said that. He smiled at Mocha. Right now, just as Mocha-chan is a sexy vampire, we can depend on her. Tsukune and Kurumu's sweat dropped. Mocha snatched the rosary away from Naruto, who smirked foxily. Mocha smirked back, don't misunderstand, I just didn't want your blood to be stolen away from me. I'm defiantly different from the other Mocha, and I have relatively no feelings toward you. That's why if you call me Mocha-chan one more time you will live to regret the day. Naruto stepped up very close to the vampire Mocha, who blushed the tiniest bit. He whispered to her. Do you really not feel anything at all, Mocha-chan? I think you're bluffing, otherwise you could have gotten rid of me. My blood isn't just the human blood here, there's always Tsukune, you know. Mocha ran a finger down Naruto's cheek and whispered back, you are either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid, Naruto. This time Naruto smirked, getting even closer to her, their noses almost touching. He whispered so very lowly so only Mocha could hear him. I've been known to be both of them, Mocha-sama. She smiled for the first time at him. That's more like it, until next time. Naruto watched as she hooked the rosary back onto her collar and reverted into the old Mocha. Naruto smiled down at her, then grinned foxily at the other two people in the area. He chuckled nervously. Well, that was interesting. What? The rosary talked to you? Naruto and Tsukune listened to the quite interesting story that Mocha was telling them. Mocha nodded. Yeah, the voice ended up saving us, but it's strange. Maybe the seal is weakening. Naruto nodded, and Tsukune shrugged. Mocha looked over at Naruto shyly, while Tsukune sat on the ground, obviously trying to come up with some insults to Naruto. Mocha put a hand on Naruto's chest, catching his attention. Naruto blushed slightly. Mocha looked at him coyly. Naruto, if it comes to a point where the seal doesn't work anymore, would you still like me? She blushed red, waiting for his answer. Naruto laughed, putting his hands on his head, as he thought to himself, would you still like me if my seal broke? Mocha-chan. Naruto grinned at her. Of course I would, Mocha-chan. No matter what happens, we'll always be friends. Mocha looked slightly disappointed, as he grinned foxily at her. She couldn't help but smile and blush. Maybe in day we could be more than friends with Naruto-kun. The conversation was ruined when Tsukune yelled, yikes. They turned towards Tsukune, and saw him pointing at something behind them. They turned around, and saw Kurumu, holding cookies. Kurumu yelled happily, good morning, Naruto-kun. Naruto grinned at her, and waved slightly. Good morning, Kurumu-chan, what brings you here? Kurumu fidgeted while she held out the cookies. She smiled at him brightly. I baked you some cookies, Naruto-kun. Would you eat them with me? Naruto tilted his head cutely. Huh? Why me? Kurumu blushed and fidgeted again. Remember when I was looking for my life's one, and only destined one? Naruto nodded, taking a cookie along with Tsukune. Naruto took a bite of his cookie, and had a look of surprise. Tsukune took one bite of his, then scarfed it down. He cried dramatically from how good it was. Kurumu smiled, as she watched Naruto chew on his cookie with a happy smile on his face. While Kurumu continued getting Naruto's attention, while Mocha was glaring at her. I've decided for it to be you. Naruto choked on his cookie, and was having a hard time breathing. This all came so much of a shock to him, but Kurumu ignored his predicament, and continued talking. Naruto-kun risked his life to protect me, and I've completely totally fallen for him. Tsukune didn't notice Naruto choking on cookies, or Mocha, and Kurumu having a glaring contest. He was too busy eating Kurumu's forgotten cookies, but soon Tsukune was watching Naruto get chased by Mocha, and Kurumu in the hallways yelled obscenely. Kurumu held her arms out in front of her. Naruto-kun, please hurry up and marry me. Mocha looked between Naruto and Kurumu frantically. Oh, what are you saying, Kurumu-chan? Naruto, do something. Naruto looked between the two with a smile on his face, enjoying life. I don't see any problems, Mocha-chan. And I'm not gonna marry you, Kurumu-chan. Both of them started to yell unknown words to Naruto, who continued to run away from them. Tsukune could only sigh, as the rest of the male student body section of this academy felt worthless in the presence of Uzumaki Naruto. Tsukune could only shrug, as he tried to comfort the male monsters. Some guys just walk in the light, you know. Naruto panted, as he looked at his opponent. He growled at the duplicate of the foxy boy. They were having a standoff, in a clearing far from the school. Naruto found this the second day of school, and decided to make it his personal training grounds. Today, or should I say, this early morning, Naruto was wearing a pair of loose black basketball shorts, and a plain white t-shirt on. His headband was back on his forehead, and the many bracelets around Naruto's wrists were bandaged down, so they wouldn't get in the way of his training. Naruto wiped his brow, as he got into an offensive taijutsu stance. His hands were relaxed, and not clenched, while his arms were a little parted from his body at a 90-degree bend at the elbow. His legs were shoulder-length apart, a slight bend in his legs. The taijutsu stance he was in was something Guy's brother Doodle, another taijutsu monster, minus the green spandex, had taught him while he was on the training trip with the Rasengan. Naruto unconsciously flinched, thinking about Jiraiya was still too hard to do. He relaxed his face into a battle-hard face, one that had seen things no one wants to see. This taijutsu style concentrated on very fast movements, jabs, elbows, and harsh knees, and kicks. It was called Rising Phoenix. Suddenly the original Naruto disappeared, and reappeared to the side of the clone who was in a standard Hyuga defensive taijutsu stance. Dude-san had been trained by Hyuga for a Jonin sensei when he was a genin, and he had learned so much from the man. Dude had figured out that even though you don't have the Byakugan you can still do their taijutsu style, misusing the fact that you can't use it to render your opponent useless, but instead Doodle decided to use pressure points or nerve points in replace of the dot. And though it took Naruto almost an unlimited amount of practice and training, Naruto was able to master this type of taijutsu along with several others. You may think that 3 years isn't enough to master many taijutsu styles. Jiraiya taught Naruto the true abilities of the Kage Bunshin, which in turn allowed Naruto to master several taijutsu styles, several sword battling styles, and many powerful, in that short amount of time. And while Naruto's clones were practicing all this, Naruto, the real Naruto, had only been conditioning his body for 3 years. Intense training and hard work allowed to catch up to Lee in terms of speed and power. Both without their weights on, in Naruto's case Gravity Seal, Lee and Naruto were about the same speed as each other. But what gave Naruto an advantage over Lee in speed was a technique he had used and completed. Jiraiya had thought it was ridiculous to let Naruto try to experiment on this very famous technique, so that Naruto could use the technique with absolutely no setbacks whatsoever. The last year of Naruto's training consisted of him training physically, having battle strategies taught to him by Jiraiya, and learning about seals excessively, and then finally experimenting on a Jiraiya thought was impossible for Naruto to use: the Hiraishin no Jutsu. While Naruto had a very difficult time using the Hiraishin due to the amount of chakra it took, and chakra control it took, he still was able to use it with the specially made kunai. Naruto was trying so very hard to be able to get the Hiraishin to work without any seals on a kunai. So all in all, Naruto was trying to create a technique that allowed him to travel through space and time to get to a spot anywhere in the world instantly. Jiraiya himself was doubtful that Naruto could do it, but Naruto never gave up, and is still to this day working on that technique. But enough of that, let's get back to the match. Naruto had appeared next to the clone who was in the standard Hyuga defensive taijutsu stance, ready to kick him viscously in the face. The clone dodged the attack by taking a step back, then while Naruto was still in the air attacked him using a palm strike to his thigh. Naruto used his hand to push the clone's hand away, and right when Naruto's foot touched the ground, he disappeared again. The clone dodged an uppercut from Naruto, as he used his middle and pointer finger to jab at a seemingly random part on his leg. Naruto disappeared again. Naruto stood again, a little bit of a distance away. He narrowed his eyes at his clone. He smirked. Naruto could feel part of his leg numb up in pain from his clone using chakra to pinch a nerve close. Naruto disappeared and snuck up behind the clone, sending a rough roundhouse kick to the back of the clone. The clone dissipated into a puff of smoke. Naruto sighed as he created another clone and had him do the same thing that the first clone did. This went on for about an hour before one of the clones Naruto was fighting decided to take the battle just a tad bit too far. Naruto was exhausted, tired, hungry, and in pain. Several of his muscles were stinging in pain as the clones continued to assault the inside of his body with their chakra palm strikes. Many places on his body were numb from those stupid finger jabs they kept doing. Naruto sprinted at the clone fast, ready to give him a hard elbow to the chest, attempting to end this fight right then and there. The clone grinned stupidly at Naruto, then made a one-handed ram seal. Naruto didn't notice the seal until it was too late. The clone grinned and yelled, boom. And the clone did go boom. Naruto grimaced as pain flooded his body. The explosion the clone created sent him flying back, skidding across the ground. Naruto felt himself hit his head on something very hard, then a wet sound was made, and Naruto's world went black. Naruto groaned as he felt himself awake to the world of the living. He flinched as his head felt like someone was pounding dull nails into his brain. Naruto felt his head. He touched a sensitive wet spot on the back of his head. He felt around then flinched, bringing his hand to his face to see what the wet substance was. It was blood. Naruto knew that even though there was blood on his head, he most likely didn't have any injuries. Naruto got up. His body complained from the stiffness and soreness. He started walking back to his dorm room to get ready for the day. Naruto arrived at his room and sighed, closing the door behind him. He trudged slowly to the bathroom, undressing whatever remained of his clothes. Naruto turned on the water and checked the temperature. He withdrew his hand as it was too cold for his liking. As Naruto waited for the water to warm up, he looked at himself in the mirror. Naruto had to admit to himself he had a nice body. He flexed a couple times and then smiled sexily at himself, before he flinched in pain as his head still was quite tender. Naruto sighed and looked at his body, this time at the scars on his body. There were too many scars to count, but one grayish-pinkish one stood out the most. It was in a roundish type shape. About the size of a fist. Naruto closed his eyes, feeling the scar with his fingers. One of the many that was not only on his body, but on his heart. Naruto looked at the mirror again, and felt anger well up inside. Just thinking about that bastard made him angry. Naruto slammed his fists on the sink counter. He looked at his image, and wasn't surprised to see red eyes staring back at him. Naruto took a deep breath to calm down, and felt Kyuubi's chakra leave him. Naruto sighed, as he scratched the back of his neck. God, I hate this school. And then he got into the shower. Naruto gave Mocha a deadpan look. Mocha was giving Naruto a shocked, unsure, and almost pleading look. She put her hand on her chest. Is it really alright, Naruto? Naruto shrugged. Yeah, it is. For like the 4th time. Mocha blushed and leaned in dramatically. Oh, I'm so happy, Naruto. Naruto smiled nervously and laughed. Mocha-chan. She leaned even closer. It's the first time you know. Naruto leaned his head to the left as she grabbed onto his neck with her fangs. Did you let me suck your blood? Even though Tsukune had seen Naruto get his blood sucked by Mocha many times, this time it just felt so wrong. Tsukune shivered. Oh. I wish I was Naruto. Naruto always feels so weird when she sucks his blood. Like his life source was slowly draining away. The girly scream went through the air as Naruto fell to the ground. Mocha held her face tenderly and daydreamed. Oh. Naruto's blood is always so yummy. Naruto lay on the ground, a little cloud over his head, as he saw the stars in the middle of day. Thanks to her I'm always on the ground, but Mocha-chan's never gonna know that, will she? Naruto, Mocha, and Tsukune all heard the bell ring for morning classes to start. They all left to go to their respective classes. As they arrived in the same classroom, they chatted for a while, but then the bell rang again. Nekonim-sensei walked in, as perky as ever. She smiled at the class. As you all know, this academy's goal is to train monsters to adapt to the human way of life, just as I have been saying all along. She perked up even more. So that means starting today you're all going to take up club activities. Several groans went through the classroom. Naruto looked out the window, uninterested in what she was saying. Tsukune blinked. A slightly confused Mocha looked excited like always. Nekonim-sensei pointed to the blackboard. On the blackboard was a rectangle with the words club activities on it. An arrow was pointing away from the box, and a list was set up saying human sports, human arts, human values on it. Nekonim-sensei smiled. We'll get a deeper understanding of humans by experiencing human-made activities through some sweat in a club. To transform into humans perfectly, you must have a clear understanding of humans. The boy, either brave or stupid, stood up. Sensei? He asked, raising his hand. Naruto looked at him, uninterested. The boy pointed to Nekonim-sensei's tail. Wouldn't that give you an F in transformation? Whispers went around the room about Sensei having a tail. Naruto raised an eyebrow in slight shock, but then shrugged. If Kurumu-chan can have a tail, and creepy bat wings, Nekonim-sensei can have a tail. Nekonim-sensei just squinted at her tail, then at the boy. It was quiet. Then she mauled his face, scratching at it without mercy. The boy cried comically, as blood flowed from his wounds. Nekonim-sensei continued, as if nothing happened. Understand, everyone will participate in club activities. It was quite obvious that she was trying to hide her tail behind a book that she somehow obtained. She continued, everyone. Please visit many groups, and decide which one you want to enter. Be sure to visit the newspaper club that I'm an advisor for, okay? Naruto, Tsukune, and Mocha were all very excited to pick out a club activity they can all do together. Mocha turned towards the two boys. One was looking around in awe and excitement, the other was just looking around with his hands behind his head. Tsukune smiled. Isn't it awesome? I bet every club has someone advertising it here. Mocha giggled. What group should we enter? Naruto stopped walking. I don't really care, as long as it is something not boring. And, as long as I'm with you too. Tsukune thought a swimming suit popped up in his head. How about the swimming club? Naruto nodded thoughtfully. Yeah, swimming is fun and active, and I get to spend my time with you too. I like it. Naruto leaned in close to Tsukune, nudging him. Sides, I know you wouldn't mind seeing Mocha-chan in two pieces, would you? Tsukune blushed and thought, well, that's exactly what I was thinking. Mocha looked away from them, stuttering, but ere she looked back at the two of them, and smiled excitedly. Anyway, it's still way too early to decide. Let's go visit a lot of clubs, since they went through all of this trouble. Mocha, Tsukune, and Naruto all walked around getting many different ideas, and strange people asking them to be in their club. Mocha first had a creepy guy offer her a spot in the modeling club with nude pictures, then after that was a geeky guy holding a basket of bugs. He was with the chemistry club, then after that there was an acupuncture club, a mummy club, and even a creepy club. Naruto himself was asked to be in many clubs with a female student body like a cheerleading club with many different beautiful girls, giving him a sexy look. Naruto asked, isn't cheerleading just for girls? One blonde-haired girl nodded. Normally, yes. But for you we can make an exception. You don't even have to do anything. You could just watch us. Naruto's interest was captured, but before he could answer he was pushed away by Mocha, who gave the slutty girls a very harsh death glare. Naruto waved goodbye with a goofy grin on his face. Another club that offered was a massage club, where the club members took turns each session giving each other a massage. The girls in that group practically dragged Naruto over to them, while Mocha grabbed Naruto's wrist and dragged him away again. And Naruto waved goodbye again. And Tsukune was thinking about the power of Uzumaki Naruto, and his abilities that he holds over women again. Tsukune sighed. Don't they have any normal clubs at this school? Naruto nodded. Yeah, like basketball. Tsukune nodded, agreeing before he realized what Naruto was saying. In a corner was a basketball hoop, and a couple of older students who looked over at anyone who dared try to shoot the ball. Naruto watched, as several students attempted to make the ball into the hoop, but after many tries no one was able to do it. Tsukune looked at Naruto like he was crazy. Why, basketball? Mocha can't do it. It's only for guys. Naruto nodded again, not paying attention. I'll be back. Naruto went over to the boys. Tsukune sighed and looked at Mocha and shrugged. Well, I guess we don't have a club to join. The two heard a voice behind them and they looked at the source. A beautiful girl was standing there in nothing but a bikini and a towel on. She had brown wavy hair. Two girls were standing behind her. She looked at Tsukune. I'm the swimming club captain, Ichinis Tamao. Why don't we swim together? She gave Tsukune a smile. The swimming club is all female, and we'll give special attention to the boy who joins our club. Tsukune could hear all the boys asking Tamao if they could join the club. Well, he thought in his head, Woo, thank goodness it seems like the swimming club is still normal. They all followed the club to an outdoor swimming pool. They all threw off their clothes, and were all in nothing but a bikini. Several of the males that followed also looked at the scene with hearts in their eyes, and bloody noses. They were obviously very excited about being there. One of the girls waved everyone over. Let's all swim together. We have spare swimsuits. As everyone changed and got into the pool, enjoying themselves, one thought went through each of their minds. The swimming club rocks. Tsukune looked towards the water and was grinning happily, imagining him and Mocha swimming together. He chuckled. At least Naruto decided to join that basketball club. Now it's just me and Mocha-san. He pumped his fists as fire appeared in his eyes, imagining him and Mocha swimming and having a great time. Mocha, however, was looking at the water fearfully and nervously. She turned towards Tsukune. Tsukune, I don't really like swimming. Tsukune's world went crashing down on him. Tsukune and Mocha were sitting by the poolside, watching everyone else enjoy playing in the water. Tsukune sighed. I guess it's true Mocha-san doesn't understand my feelings at all. My dream of seeing Mocha-san in a swimsuit. They both heard a voice. Oh, what are you doing over here? Tsukune felt Captain Tamao's arms wrap around his torso. Tsukune blushed. He felt the barely covered up assets of the swimming club captain rub on his back. Mocha looked surprised at the captain being so forward, but other than that had no other visible reaction. The captain looked at Mocha. So you're the rumored Akashi Mocha. The rumors say that you're a vampire. I wonder if it's true. Well, anyway, this is a swimming club. She gave Mocha a hard cold look. If you have no intention to swim, why don't you leave? Mocha was slightly surprised by her rudeness, and quietly answered, Tsukune's a friend. I have nowhere else to go. 10 minutes later, Mocha sat in the same spot, watching the two in the water flirt and have a good time with each other. Mocha was bored and slightly lonely. She really wanted to swim, but since she was a vampire, Mocha's thoughts drifted to Naruto. Was he really going to join that basketball club? He'd be good at it, Mocha thought sadly, thinking about how they would be separated if he did join, and with Tsukune joining the swimming club, she would be all alone again. Mocha saw Tsukune look at him. She waved at him, trying to cover up her loneliness. It seemed to work, as Tsukune smiled back and continued laughing and swimming with Tamao. Well, he looks like he's having fun. Mocha jumped out of her skin when she heard the voice. She turned around to see Naruto eating an ice cream cone. He had another one in his hand. Mocha's face brightened when she saw him. Naruto handed her the extra ice cream cone. She started licking it, now happy. She smiled at Naruto. He's been flirting with her for a little while now. They seem to be having a lot of fun. Naruto nodded, taking a lick. Yeah, it's about time someone noticed Tsukune. Tsukune looked over at Mocha again, having a slightly guilty conscience of leaving her alone, and saw that she was laughing and talking with Naruto. Both of them had ice cream in their hands. Tsukune smiled, somewhat happy that Mocha wasn't alone over there anymore, but didn't like that it had to be Naruto. The girl Tsukune was crushing on Naruto. Not helping, plus Tsukune couldn't help, but I wonder how Naruto always got those ice cream cones. A couple of the girls noticed Naruto and looked at each other and grinned. They walked up behind Naruto and both hugged him. Naruto dropped his ice cream. He looked on sadly as he heard the girls that made him drop his ice cream say, "What's this? Why aren't you in the pool?" Naruto looked at them slightly angered. Well, I don't have swimming trunks, and I'm not a big fan of swimming. They smiled. Oh, don't worry, we have extras. Naruto shook his head, now annoyed. Please, I said no. Besides, I don't want to leave Mocha-chan here alone. Mocha blushed, however the girls looked at each other. Then they looked at Naruto. Oh, but you could just stay on the side of the pool near her. Swimming club is about swimming, you know. Naruto glared at them this time. Look, I told you already I don't like swimming. It's not my thing. I don't care too much for undressing in public anyway. The girls just looked at each other, then grabbed Naruto, yelling, oh, don't be stupid. You probably look great in trunks. Naruto yelled, confused as to what was going on. Everyone watched as the girls stripped Naruto and forced him into a pair of swimming trunks. Everything stopped when Naruto stood up. Mocha blushed, but gave Naruto a shocked stare. The girls looked just plain shocked. Tsukune stared at Naruto with an almost apologetic look on his face. Naruto was not looking too happy at the girls. His blue eyes were slowly turning red. On Naruto's well-toned body, the six-pack, and Mocha couldn't help but blush. There were too many scars to count. The dull gray of the scars were littered all over his torso. Mocha looked at all of them. Many were almost faded completely, but there were still a lot that were either still pink or a very noticeable pink-gray. A scar on the right side of his chest looked like some just punched a hole through his chest. Another one started at his left shoulder and near his belly button. His back wasn't any better. However, what really caught their attention was the black swirly tattoo on his navel area. Some parts look extremely faded, but it was pulsing, and a red tint was seeping out of the tattoo. The pole was dead quiet. Naruto turned away from them and put his shirt back on to go buttoning up the white t-shirt and left with his tie, pants, socks, and shoes in his hand. Without any words, Naruto was leaving the pool, walking right past Mocha, who was too shocked to move. The pool remained quiet until Mocha turned towards the girls who did this. How could you? How could you just invade someone's respects and wishes like that? They shrugged. Well, he's hot, and how was I supposed to know that he had a scary-looking chest? Mocha felt the anger well up inside her. That still doesn't give you the right. Tsukune swam up to the side of the pool and looked at her, but they didn't mean any harm to him, Mocha-san. They did the same to me, as well. Mocha turned towards him, in slight shock. Tsukune, how could you defend them? We're friends. Tsukune was taken back. They didn't mean any harm, Mocha-san. They just want to have fun. Mocha felt tears in her eyes. Oh, so this is what this is about. Fun. Just like you having fun with all these girls in the water. Tsukune could feel himself getting angry, but you could have joined me, Mocha-san. I really only wanted to swim with you. Mocha clenched her fists. Even if I wanted to swim, I couldn't. You just don't understand, you see. Mocha was about to continue before a splash soaked her in water. Mocha looked shocked as Tsukune looked to see who did it. Tamao was staring at the two of them with a hard, disappointed look on her face. Though you're free to visit, fighting is such an ugly sight. And it looks so childish whether you understand each other or not. How petty. Between a man and a woman, the important thing is to see if your heart has been stolen or vice versa. Mocha looked at her wet hands in shock. She whispered, no water, and with that she turned away, running. Tsukune called out to her. Mocha-san. Mocha didn't stop running. No, you stay there. Tamao whispered to herself, so the rumors are true. Mocha ran until she was well out of sight of anyone. She leaned against the wall, but felt her strength leaving her, so she slid down the wall until she was resting on the ground. Mocha heard a voice, you fool. How could you be so close to something like a pool? I too inhabit this body, so put an end to such reckless behavior. Don't let the likes of idiots make you do such things. Mocha whispered weakly, and no. The rosary responded, what? Mocha crossed her arms on her legs. I'm sick of this body. Why can't I be like everyone else? I'm weird. I want to swim with Tsukune and Naruto-kun too. The rosary was quiet as it listened. Mocha cried as she looked hopelessly down at her feet. I want to be with Naruto too. Little did Mocha know, a pair of blue eyes was staring sadly at her from above. Tsukune watched as many people played in the pool, enjoying each other's company as well as having fun. However, Tsukune wasn't having that much fun. It just wasn't that great without Mocha-san. He turned towards the captain of the swimming club. Tamao-senpai. He gave a little bow to show his respect. I'm sorry, but I don't want to stay in the swimming club. It won't be the same without Mocha-san. Tamao smiled at him. Oh, what are you talking about? And just when I finally chazzed off that Mocha isn't the fun beginning. She held out her hand to Tsukune, only it was different. It was claws, deformed, and webbed. Didn't you hear me? Either have your heart stolen or you steal theirs. Tsukune heard a scream behind him, and he whirled around. His eyes widened in shock. A boy was getting chased down in the water by two girls. He yelled at them, stop it, why are you suddenly coming after me, senpai? The two girls caught up to the swimming away boy, and bit onto his arms. Slowly the life and energy of the boy was drained to the point where he looked like an old dusty man. Tsukune was shocked. He turned towards Tamao, looking for an explanation, but all he saw was a giant fin emerge itself into the water. However, Tsukune could still hear Tamao's voice. Don't think badly of us. Luring men into water and sucking their life energy is simply our natural way of life. Tsukune watched, shocked, as the fin jumped out of the water. Apparently that fin was Tamao, who looked just like an evil mermaid for better words. She smiled at Tsukune again. Isn't it wonderful? Tsukune was shocked and slightly afraid. Mermaids. He watched as other girls chased after other boys and sucked out their life energy. He had a very uneasy feeling in his gut, and not to mention the fear he could feel in his heart. So at this moment Tsukune did the only thing he felt was necessary. He freaked out. What's going on, mermaids? Are mermaids really this scary? We're being attacked. We're gonna be killed. He held out his hands, running around in a circle. Then Tsukune felt arms wrap around his neck and stiffened. A shiver went down his back as his eyes widened. He heard Tamao whisper in his ear. No need to panic. It's fine, you're special, Tsukune-kun. She gently cupped his cheek and made sure he looked at her face. She continued to whisper. The truth is, I've had my eyes set on you since the entrance ceremony. Ever since then, I've spent all my time dreaming about you. It's just, you see, she grinned, her mouth now scaly and grotesque. Tsukune's eyes widened. Tamao continued. You have a very yummy scent, just like a human, Tsukune-kun. Then she opened her mouth. It looked like a turtle mouth, only with many rows of sharp pointy teeth. Tsukune was scared. The now freaky-looking Tamao yelled at him with a gurgly voice. I've always wanted to eat you up. Before she could bite Tsukune, a voice rang through the air. Then Tsukune heard another voice. Tsukune, you see. His eyebrow twitched, as he knew who that was without even turning around. However, for the sake of seeing Mocha-san, he did turn around. Mocha ran up to the side of the pool. Tsukune. What's going on? Naruto raised an eyebrow at Tsukune's predicament. Tamao yelled angrily over to Mocha. What? Are you back again? Don't get in my way. Not that you could, you're nothing but a worthless monster that can't even swim. Tsukune and Naruto looked at Mocha, who steeled her resolve, and wondered. Can't swim? Tamao laughed. I'm right, aren't I? It's a well-known story. There's nothing you can do. Water heater. Pitiful, at least watch from over there. Naruto watched in horror as Mocha dived in. He didn't know exactly what water could do to a vampire, but still, if you can't swim, why go in? Just then Tsukune heard a voice. Tsukune. He turned and looked in the direction the voice came. He yelled, Kurumu-san. Kurumu looked at Tsukune with worry in her eyes. If we don't hurry and save Mocha, she's gonna die. Don't you know? Vampires can't go near water. Because water drains a vampire's powers. Is she nuts? Jumping into water like that. Tsukune and Kurumu looked to where Mocha dove in. He was just about to go after her when water shot straight up into the air. Tsukune's eyes widened, not believing his eyes, as he saw the most incredible thing ever. Kurumu looked shocked as well. Naruto was standing on top of the water holding an unconscious Mocha in his arms, bridal style. Her head was resting on his chest. Besides the fact that Naruto was standing on the water, the look in his eyes was scary enough. No longer were the heartwarming, kind blue eyes of Uzumaki Naruto, but in their place were the crimson blood-chilling, fiery eyes of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. However, they didn't know that. They just saw really scary red eyes. Naruto was glaring at Tamao with utmost hate. Without taking his eyes off her, the clone appeared by his side, taking Mocha from Naruto, and setting her down on the side of the pool near Kurumu. Tsukune watched with awe and slight fear, as the Naruto clone appeared next to him, and pulled him out of the water, setting him down next to Mocha. Naruto watched, as Tamao glared at him, and shouted, doesn't matter. I'll take your life energy instead of Tsukune's. Naruto narrowed his eyes, and growled dangerously, shut up or I'll kill you. Tamao bared her pointy teeth. Naruto lowered his head so the top half of his face was shadowed, but his red eyes were glowing through the shadows, making incredibly intimidating. The wind was blowing very hard around Naruto, causing his clothes to flick and move crazily, also making the water in the pool create huge waves. An eerie blue seeped out of Naruto's skin, layering him slightly. The blue radiated a bright light, making him even more intimidating. Tamao looked shocked and whispered to herself, this overwhelming feeling is this Uzumaki Naruto's true form. Kurumu watched in fascination. Naruto-kun. Tsukune was staring intently at Naruto, partly in shock, the other part in curiosity. Tamao glared at Naruto. Oh come on, I had my eyes set on Tsukune-kun, and I'm not gonna let this moment be ruined by the likes of you. Several more mermaids surrounded Naruto who didn't even flinch. Tamao smirked. I don't know how strong you are, but in our territory, a mermaid is always victorious. If you're going to beg for your life, now's the time. Naruto smirked at her. I don't beg, missy. And for a shinobi, any terrain is our territory, and we are never defeated. Tamao joined in with her, as they jumped at Naruto. Naruto looked at them, and scowled. Really now? How unnecessarily stupid. Right before they could bite Naruto, he jumped high up into the air staring down at all of them. He smirked, and started to do hand seals. Tamao grinned devilishly. You're too slow. Though you talk tough, it seems you're totally weak. You're a great target in midair. Die. Tsukune shouted at Naruto, Naruto Damu. Kurumu hit him on the head. Now isn't the time to insult him. Naruto finished his hand seals, and smirked. He whispered, Ninpu. Chakra Bakufu no. Naruto set his palms out in front of him, exactly where all the mermaids would meet. He had one hand on top of the other. A small blue orb formed about 3 inches away from the skin of the palm. Then suddenly the orb got bigger, and a blinding flash of blue bursted from the orb, as a beam of hot pure energy shot towards the spot where the mermaids were going to meet. The beam of energy was about as white as Naruto is tall, and just as round. Kurumu and Tsukune looked on with shock and awe, as the heavenly blue light completely hid the mermaid, however their screams were still heard. The light gave Naruto an eerie kickish look. Kurumu smiled dreamily, as Naruto stopped the technique, and backflipped into a landing right on the edge of the pool, while the mermaids fell into the boiling hot pool of water, not dead, but injured pretty badly. Naruto smirked. Obviously a mid-air attack is not a mermaid's territory. Tsukune waved Naruto over. Naruto Damumoka-san is still knocked out. I'm worried about her. Naruto stared at Tsukune for a bit, then smiled. Hi, Tsukune Yusui. Naruto put his hand on Tsukune's head, as Tsukune looked at Naruto in confusion. Naruto didn't say anything, as he kept his hand on Tsukune's head, but walked past him towards Mocha. Naruto kneeled next to Mocha, and got into a thinking position. He then proceeded to concentrate the chakra very intensely towards his hands. The green light flickered on his hands, then it surrounded his hands confidently. Naruto put the green chakra on Mocha's head and heart, filling her with energy, and healing any wounds she received from this encounter. Tsukune and Kurumu watched with interest, as the tired, pained look on Mocha's face slowly relaxed into a peaceful one. Naruto sat back, and wiped his forehead from the amount of concentration that it took for him to do that. He turned towards Tsukune. She should be fine with a day's rest. But for now I think I'm going to go back to my dorm. Do you two want to come with me? Kurumu and Tsukune looked at each other, then nodded. Naruto, Tsukune, and Kurumu all walked to Naruto's dorm. Mocha was asleep in Naruto's arms, head leaning against his chest. Naruto was walking cheerfully. Tsukune looked at Naruto questionably. Naruto knew this, for Tsukune had been looking like he was wanting to ask Naruto something for quite a while already. Naruto looked at Tsukune out of the corner of his eye. What is it you want to ask, Tsukune, you say? Tsukune's eye twitched at the slight tease, but he sighed. Naruto, how did you and Mocha meet up with each other after she left? Naruto blinked, but furrowed his eyebrows. That wasn't the question he wanted to ask. Naruto shrugged while still walking. Oh? I forgot I haven't told you yet. Flashback. Mocha sat there crying at the side of the building, her inner side quiet. She saw a shadow at her feet, and her head snapped up to look at who got so close to her without her noticing. Naruto was kneeling in front of her smiling. His eyes showed sympathy, and understanding that no pity was held in those blue depths he called eyes. Mocha felt herself almost get lost in them, for once noticing how Naruto made her feel. Naruto smiled sadly. I know how you feel, Mocha-chan, the pain of being alone, wanting to be something entirely different from what you really are, wanting to hide your pain behind a mask, so others can't see it. You don't need to hide anymore, Mocha-chan, I'm here for you. Mocha sniffed, then felt fresh tears pour out of her eyes, as she lunged herself towards Naruto, hugging him. She buried her head into the crook of his neck, as she sobbed. Naruto sat back, letting Mocha fall into his lap, as he said soothing words to her, and held her tightly to him. He brushed his hands through her long pink hair, as he held her almost protectively. Mocha was holding onto his shirt with clenched fist, almost like her life depended on it, as she cried. Naruto didn't say move an inch until he felt her crying lessen slightly. He looked down at her, as he stopped talking soothingly. His hands, however, continued to stroke her hair and back. Naruto leaned her back slightly, so he could look at her face with his. Naruto smiled softly at her, as she saw him, and couldn't help but smile, as a slight hiccup escaped from her mouth. Naruto reached for something in his pocket, his tongue sticking out. Mocha giggled. Naruto pulled out a small can, and handed it to Mocha. I bought some before I came down here, I thought you would like it. Mocha looked at the can of tomato juice. She smiled at Naruto, but furrowed her eyebrows, as there was no way to open it. Naruto blinked, and chuckled sheepishly. Oops, I guess I forgot one of those openers, right? Well, let me see it for a second. Mocha handed it back to Naruto, who put one end up to one of his longer, sharper canines. He used his tooth to poke a hole on each side, so Mocha could drink juice. Naruto handed it back to her with a smile on his face. Mocha looked at Naruto. Her eyes meeting his, Mocha then took a sip, and leaned against him, whispering, "Thank you, Naruto-kun." Naruto laughed, and scratched the back of his neck. Ah, you know, it was no big deal. I would have done it for any friend. I mean, that's what friends do, right? Naruto then felt something warm, and softly kissed his cheek slightly. Naruto looked at Mocha confused, who was blushing madly, but other than that was smiling, and drinking her tomato juice. Naruto then laughed, as she finished her juice. He scooped her up into his arms, making Mocha squeal in surprise. Naruto smiled at her. Well, are we going to save Tsukune or what? Mocha, still blushing, smiled at Naruto, and laughed, of course. But first, could you put me down? Naruto looked at her, and laughed, setting her down. He scratched behind his neck again. He opened his eyes, and saw that Mocha was a few feet away, waving at him to hurry up. Naruto grinned, and ran to catch up to her. Flashback end. Mocha felt herself wake up, as Naruto finished telling the other two his story. She listened to who she presumed to be Naruto's heartbeat. It was slow, and controlled. She took a deep breath, smelling the human scent on him, but this time she could smell something other things, as well. Like ramen, and the smell of fresh air. She also noticed that Naruto seemed to smell very faintly of a kitsune-type monster. Then she heard Tsukune ask a question that was on her mind for a while. Naruto, I want to know how you got all of those scars on your body. Naruto stopped walking, as Mocha was quietly listening, making sure to still pretend she was asleep. Naruto looked down, he tightened his grip on Mocha, who could hear his heart speed up, slow down, then speed up again. Naruto took a deep breath. Kurumu and Tsukune listened intently. Kurumu was just curious to hear about Naruto's scars, which she didn't have a clue about, but Tsukune was really interested in the story behind all of it. Naruto looked up at the sky. Where I live, there is a person in the village who is the strongest of all. He or she is called the Hokage. Their duties to the village are to protect it with their life, as well as do what they deem best for the village. At the time, a young man with blonde hair and blue eyes, Tsukune and Kurumu looked at him oddly. Naruto chuckled. No, not me. But a young man with blonde hair and blue eyes was just promoted into Hokage. He was very proud, and a happy man. His newly wedded wife was about to give birth to their firstborn son. That Hokage couldn't have been any happier than he was at that point in time. He was the strongest, his beautiful wife was about to give birth to a beautiful child, and he had the love of his village. His name was Namikaze Minato, but all good things must come to an end, as the saying goes. On the night of October 10th, the wife of Minato went into labor, ready to give birth to their son. However, that same night, a demon kitsune had attacked their village. Minato didn't know what to do, as the demons slaughtered much of their forces, destroying half of the village. He had only one choice: he had to seal the Kyuubi no Kitsune into a baby. At this, Kurumu gasped, recognizing the name of the demon lord, the strongest monster to have existed. Naruto continued, Minato had to seal it into a newborn baby, not even a day old, because he needed someone that hasn't even begun to form their chakra pathways yet. There were very few babies born on that night, but many of them died. Minato knew he had to seal the Kyuubi into his newborn child, because not only was he the only child left alive, but because Minato couldn't ask anyone else to give up their child for a disastrous future ahead of him. So Minato sealed the demon into his son, killing himself in the process. Minato had lived a righteous life, and even though he sealed the worst demon in existence into his own son, he did it with the best intentions. Minato's last wish for all the world to see was to have his son be seen as a hero instead of a demon. However, his wishes were in vain, as the village grew to hate and despise the young boy. His mother died giving birth to him, so he grew up alone, hated. He had lost count of all the times he watched other kids play with their brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers. He had lost count of how many times he was beaten in dark alleyways by drunk men and some brave men. The boy, the hero, grew up alone, hated for something he had no control over. He had no one, no friends, no family, but the only thing that kept him from going insane was an old man. He was the Hokage at this time who was always there for the boy. I remember once the old Hokage had given the young boy a teddy bear once, as a gift for being good, and that bear was his only friend. And even though some of the older kids thought it was the stupidest thing ever, they deemed it necessary to pelt him with rocks, and while the boy was on the ground in pain, they took his only friend away from him, burning it to ashes before his eyes. Naruto looked at them, a deep sadness in his eyes. He lived like this for 13 years, hiding in shadows, and trying to cover up the pain that he felt in his heart by fake laughs and smiles. He had comforted so many people in his life, yet no one thought he was worthy enough to even try to find out what he truly thought. But then, one day it all ended when he made friends with another young boy who was all alone. They were rivals and best friends. They ended up being on a team together. That team ended up being precious to him. Then he kept meeting new people, and they became precious to him, and so on. After a while of being a ninja for his village just like his father, people began to see him for who he really was. Slowly the amount of precious people grew, and grew until his loneliness finally disappeared. He wasn't alone anymore. Naruto looked down again. Tsukune stared at Naruto in shock, adding 2 and 2 together. Kurumu had tears falling down her face, as she held her hand in front of her mouth. Mocha, though she desperately tried to hide it, she too was crying. Naruto then smiled at them. Then one day that boy had defeated a man who was virtually unbeatable. He was rewarded for it, of course. He became the hero of his village, like his father wanted him to be, and what he wanted to be ever since he was a young boy. But then the Hokage at this moment thought it was necessary to rip all of this away from the boy, not from the man. He had sent him to a school far away. A school filled with monsters where he and another man became very good friends, almost as good as that young man's first true friend. And that pain has gone away again. Naruto looked at the two of them, and smiled sadly. I hope that answers your questions well enough, Tsukune-kun. Now if you please, let's continue on to my dorm. Naruto started walking again, leaving behind Tsukune and Kurumu, who watched him leave. Both had different thoughts, but they both were leading up to the same thing. I promise you I will always be there for you. Naruto stopped in front of his door, trying to find the keys in his pockets. He stuck his tongue out, trying to desperately find his keys. Then with a cry of triumph, he pulled them from his pocket, Tsukune and Kurumu finally catching up to him. Naruto unlocked his door and walked inside. Tsukune and Kurumu waited outside the door. Naruto turned towards them with an annoyed look. Well, are you going to come in? Tsukune and Kurumu blushed a bit and then went inside, closing the door behind them. They looked around as Naruto set Mocha down on his futon and shut the door behind him, letting Mocha sleep. Naruto went to the small kitchen, calling out to them, "Do you guys want anything to eat? I don't really have much of an option, mainly it's all just ramen." Kurumu looked at a picture frame. She bent over to look at it while she called back, "No, I'm good." Tsukune politely declined also. Naruto shrugged, "Suit yourself." "More for me then." Kurumu inspected the picture a little bit more. She looked at the people in the frame. One of them was apparently the tallest one. He had gloved hands on top of two boys' heads. He had silver hair that was all matted down to one side almost, as if he slept on his head, but she couldn't really identify him any more than that because he had a mask on, and a weird headband that covered one eye. The one eye that was showing was closed, and in an upside down U, almost like he was smiling. He had a dark green vest on with a navy sweatshirt underneath it. At least Kurumu thought it was a sweatshirt. One of the boys he had his hands on was very angry looking. His dark hair was set differently than an average boy's hair, while he had his arms crossed over his chest. He was wearing a dark blue t-shirt with a high collar. He had what seemed to be white arm warmers on. The same strange headband was on his forehead too. He had an angry pout on his face, as his dark eyes looked away from the camera. In the middle of the three kids was a pink-haired girl. Kurumu blinked immediately thinking of Mocha, but then noticed how similar she is from Mocha, but she wasn't Mocha. Her eyes were closed, as she grinned at the camera leaning into the picture. Her pink hair was obviously cared for, and the same weird headband was on top of her head like it was a hair ornament. She had a red dress or shirt or whatever on. Overall, Kurumu thought she was quite pretty. The last person in the group looked very familiar to Kurumu. Spiky blonde hair, deep ocean blue eyes, and those adorable whisker marks. However, the boy who she guessed was Naruto had his arms crossed over his chest also. He was growling at the other dark-haired boy, who didn't really want to make eye contact with Naruto. He had on a black loose t-shirt with the same headband on his head only. It was turned slightly sideways, so the metal part was invisible on the camera. He had bandages wrapped around his hands, and all the way up to his elbows. On his left shoulder was a metal covering what would be the hard area protecting him from any damage there. Kurumu smiled at the picture. They were obviously good friends. She jumped when she heard Naruto's voice behind her. That's my team. She whirled around to face him, her breath hitched in her throat from him scaring her like that. Naruto had a soft smile on his face. He then pointed to the man with the silver hair. That's my sensei. Hada Kakashi. He was like a father to me. He taught some really cool stuff, but no matter what happened he was always there for me. Naruto smiled happily. He pointed to the girl with pink hair, Haruno Sakura. She's a really close friend of mine, and was my first crush. I don't really know where I would be without her. She's a little aggressive, but I don't really mind. He then pointed to the blonde-haired one chuckling. That's me, the troublemaker in the group. He then pointed to the dark-haired boy, a stern look on his face. And that's Uchiha Sasuke. He used to be my best friend, and my rival. The one I told you about earlier. Kurumu looked at him questionably. Used to be. Naruto sighed. He turned traitor to get more power from the creepy guy. He wanted to kill his brother so much I chased after him when he left, and for that I had almost died. Naruto unconsciously rubbed the scar Sasuke had given him. Naruto turned towards them, and said, well, guys, I'm pretty tired, so I think I'm going to have to go to bed. If you want me to, I can walk you guys home. Kurumu and Tsukune both shook their heads, indicating that they didn't need to be walking home, and they left Naruto alone with his thoughts. 3 days passed, and still Mocha didn't show up to class. Currently, Naruto and Tsukune are walking down the hallways, slightly depressed because they haven't found a club to join yet. They turned around when they heard a voice behind them. Nekonim-sensei smiled, squinted at them. She stopped in front of the two boys, just the two people I wanted to see. Have you decided what club you are going to join yet? You two and Mocha are the only ones who haven't decided yet. Naruto sighed. Nekonim-sensei, no, we haven't decided yet. Before Naruto could continue, Nekonim-sensei interrupted him. Splendid. But I wonder if you both wouldn't mind if you joined my club than the newspaper club. Nobody has joined, and we might get shut down. Naruto laughed, scratching the back of his neck, laughing awkwardly, feeling slightly sorry for Nekonim-sensei for not having anyone in her club. Damn his soft heart. Ah, the newspaper club. Well, that certainly sounds like a nice club. I'll join. Nekonim-sensei purred, as she hugged Naruto, gleefully rubbing her head against his. Quite oddly she jumped back, as if nothing happened, and waited for Tsukune to reply. Tsukune looked down, unsure if he wanted to or not without Mocha-sen. That's great. I'll join that club. They all turned towards the voice, and saw none other than a fully recovered Mocha. She waved at the two of them with a bright smile on her face. Good morning, Naruto. Good morning, Tsukune. Naruto grinned. Glad you're feeling better, Mocha-chan. Tsukune smiled happily. It's good to see you again. For a while I thought you disappeared, and left me here with Naruto-damu. Naruto's eyebrow twitched. Baka. Who are you calling dumb? Tsukune, you see. Tsukune frowned, and looked at Naruto. Who are you calling weak? Baka. I used Baka already, Baka. But you just used it again. I'm Uzumaki Naruto, the future Hokage of Konohagakure. I can do whatever I want. That's what you think. I'm Aono Tsukune. I'm going to beat you on the test scores. Ha! You can't beat me. I'm too good for that. You have some of the lowest grades in our class. So, don't you want a good job one day? I already have one. It's called the Hokage. Ha! Eat that. I'm not hungry. Then just chew on it. It has an ugly taste. Bah! You're so dumb. You're the one failing, Naruto-damu. Nekonim-sensei looked between the two arguing boys, and then at Mocha, who smiled at her. Just sign all of us for the newspaper club, Nekonim-sensei. Nekonim-sensei smiled brightly, then flashed a poster that said, Welcome to newspaper club. Kurumu popped up behind Mocha, and yelled, Sign me up, Nekonim-sensei. The cat teacher grinned. Wonderful. This year's newspaper club is going to be amazing. Tsukune looked at Naruto. By the way, why didn't you ever join the basketball club? Naruto shrugged. Well, I dunked the ball a little too hard, and I ruined the basketball hoop. I broke the backboard, so they had to kick me out of the club. Everyone laughed, including Naruto. The end. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.